Hello and welcome to this episode of There Be Dragons. I am your Dungeon Master Matthew. Let's go around the table, introduce the players and the characters that they play. To my right is...
Angela, and I am playing Abella.
Keren, and I play your unfriendly neighborhood shanking victim, Rhylind Westfall. I have a gimmick now, guys.
I am Josh Walker, and I play Skairn Fellspar.
I'm Sleepy Tristan, and I play not Sleepy Charlie Roughhouse.
Wake up, Tristan!
Everybody's dancing.
I'm Tom, your audio wizard and bard, Nezor Valghoorlis.
Well said.
That would be... I think the dictionary definition of a bard is an audio wizard. So, yeah.
Okay, so where we left the party last, you were standing in the courtyard of the Nine Widows Inn with your new friend and kind of shitty wizard, Madrigal. He had made you an offer to take you to the bank to get your gold bar flipped and had asked for some backup, some moral support, perhaps, in this endeavor.
Well, I'm going to pipe up and say, look, I don't want to put a pipe to your plans, but let's just say someone told me I would do well to keep my head low and get out of here as soon as possible, so possibly marching into a bank with an axe over one shoulder might not be the best idea.
Then let's do 4.
I'm assuming that you depart post-haste.
And I go upstairs and make myself a fresh pot of tea.
You progress apace to the bank, which is situated in the Coinage District, which isn't too far away from where Madrigal lives. You are taken past the civic gardens, which are quite beautiful and have guards posted everywhere. You notice that there are several elves in plain clothes leaning against walls and having conversations, but they're doing that thing where they're clearly like having a conversation, but their attention is not on the conversation, and they're scoping out the street.
We've had this experience before in this city.
I'll sort of keep my eye on them, but if, say, once we move by, like, Charlie will sort of look at, like, you know, use reflective surfaces to sort of keep an eye on them and stuff. So if, like, once we move by, conversations break off and they start moving with us.
No, they're not doing that, but they definitely notice you passing.
Yeah, that's fine. As long
They are looking at you, for the most part.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Just so long as, like, if they start following or moving with us, I don't know whether it's a threat.
Roll me an insight check.
So that's a 15.
Charlie is obviously middle class, but he probably would have spent time at the docks.
He spent a lot of time in the docks, but then he also spent a lot of time sort of in the upper class areas where he would be allowed, like, because, you know, he's still middle classes, places he's just not to be, but he was in the docks.
Yes, they're called private property.
Well, no, but, you know, sort of like very elite areas.
Yeah.
Like, you don't go into the Queen's Gardens unless you're of this lineage or if you're invited. So Charlie would never go into the Queen's Gardens unless invited. But he spent a lot of time in the docks.
Because you never had anything to do with
People on the
criminal. Yeah, people on the corner, slinging rocks.
Well, it's a presence.
Yeah, it's a presence, it's marking the place. There is a lot more people on the street than when you came here earlier.
Can I insight as to why it might be busier? Because presumably I get that it's busier.
Yeah, you can insight if you want. Go for it.
Nope. 12.
It's possibly happy hour. It's getting close to beer o'clock. That seems to be there's a lot of like conversant groups that are going from one place to another.
Okay.
Are you going to tell the rest of the party about...
No, there's no point alerting them if there's no danger.
Sure. If you get to the bank, you have to kind of go through the civic gardens. There is like a 3-sided square almost, where the garden is effectively...
Sort of triangle?
3-sided square. No, I mean 3-sided. 3 sides as in there are buildings on 3 sides.
Okay.
Yeah, there are buildings on...
3-sided circle.
Yes.
Mind blown.
Look, geometry works
Outside,
differently.
the in, at the top and the bottom.
Charlie, you're immediately struck by the architecture. This is very similar to like...
There's bits of it falling off?
No, I mean, it's well kept, but it's definitely old.
Struck by it.
Okay, yeah, I get it. Disadvantage. No. Terrible. No,
You didn't even get it, or kind of been that good.
no, I did after the fact, and I hate it. No, you're struck by the architecture. It's old, but it's very reminiscent of like the naval offices. Yep. Like very stark, tall building. It's about 4 stories, pointed like steepling on like the corners. You wouldn't think it's a bank just from the look at it. It's very different to the sort of places you've seen in Erhard. Nezor, you immediately notice that this is very Villenic style architecture. Skairn, this is probably one of the most intimidating buildings you've ever seen. And Abella, I don't know if you necessarily... You kind of get a bit of all of that, but this doesn't seem... This is nowhere near as structurally beautiful. It's very... it looks like a... It feels like a lockbox, like a really...
Look expensive.
Doesn't look expensive, but it looks like well crafted would be the way you would describe it. And you there is like a wooden double door at the front that have these guards that are clearly not supposed to appear like guards, but they scream guard.
Very much our guards, yeah.
Yeah.
They're not overly armed.
Roll a perception check.
Hey, 23.
They are armed with like koshes. They're dressed in black. It's a uniform, but you're not. It's a very odd looking kind of thing. It's almost like smart battle wear, like a black tie combat.
Sure.
There's a party dress code. Black tie, battle formal.
Yeah. They don't stop you from going in, and Madrigal pushes open the doors, and inside is an extremely ornate yet very sparse room, and a wooden circular desk sit in the middle. And between you and the desk, there is a small fountain that has what looks like a bird taking flight, like a swan, and it's obviously got water coming out of the front of it. There is green carpet. The walls have got like beautiful wooden paneling, and there is a halfling sitting on like what looks like a booster seat behind this circular desk, and there are 3 doors behind him, but no one else in the room. Madrigal walks up and exchanges words with him.
Madrigal approaches the halfling and says in a surreptitious voice, I was just hoping to have another conversation with Miles. I was just following up on some stuff for him.
And the clerk just looks at him very skeptically for a full 3 seconds before standing up and gesturing him to follow. Which brings you into another wide room that looks a bit like a stenography pool. There are a lot of halflings in this building running around with paperwork, and you can see actually that there is damage here.
Huh?
It looks like something pushed up from the ground underneath the back left corner. There are a couple of desks that are on their side, and that whole area seems to have been given like a courtesy fence off that just, don't go here. You can see torn carpet, the flagstones have been pushed up. And there's probably about 50 odd clerks running around doing various different pieces of...
Clerks?
Clerks, sorry. Pronunciation.
Clark Kent with his glasses.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, that's what I visualized.
Is there a dragon in a vault?
Is there any way of determining what the fuck happened in the back corner?
Arcana check.
Yeah, if you want.
That's a 15 plus. That's a 19.
Yeah, you're pretty certain that is magical. And Skairn, you're picking it up too, although I think it's a little bit harder for you to tell, obviously, given your condition. You're getting like a very faint like prickling of the skin just from this area alone, and you've only entered the room. Mm-hmm. You suspect that this is the result of some kind of stone shaping magic.
An attempt to... Does it read as an attempt to break into the bank?
It reads more like battle damage.
So from our knowledge of the geography of the building, would that wall be the outside?
No, this would probably be the center of the building.
So how did battle damage happen?
So you basically go to the rear of the building, are led through a side door. There is a spiral staircase that goes up, and you're brought into a sitting room. And Madrigal looks to you and goes, so, Miles is the bank manager here. He'll probably have us sit here for a couple of minutes before he sees us. Let me do the talking. And as he's sort of saying this, like, let me handle this, I'll do the talking, the door opens and you assume an architect because he's carrying tools, comes out saying, don't you worry, Mr. Goldtooth, we'll have that all buffed out for you, no worries. And he shakes the halfling's hand. Miles is very plainly dressed. He looks like almost like a 1930s editor would look like. He's got like the white shirt with the suspenders on, rolled up sleeves,
cigar on the side of his
head. Demanding pictures of Spider-Man, that sort of thing.
Very much the man I was imagining it.
Yeah.
Great mental image.
Yeah.
But half the height.
Yeah, half the height. Miles looks at Madrigal and then the rest of you and goes, well, you're all here to see me, I suppose. Madrigal, you can wait out here.
Oh, burn.
Madrigal sort of deflates and takes a seat and looks at the ground. And he goes, well, so, I don't have all day. Let's speak in my office.
Sure.
Charlie will sort of pat Madrigal's shoulder and go, chin up, old bean. It's all right.
He sort of does like the shake of like, yeah, thanks. But I'm not.
That makes me feel so much better.
Don't worry, we'll do all the talking.
Miles uncorks a carafe of something and is starting to pour small tots for everyone. So, you are the people who own the ingot, I take it?
Yeah.
Very good. What do you know about these ingots?
Not a huge amount. Came into my possession as a part of a bad deal.
I see. Well, this bodes well then. You see, this ingot that you brought to have exchanged for currency is, shall we say, highly illegal.
Oh my god, I'm shocked.
Not stunned.
And normally this institution would never have anything to do with something so crass.
Of course not.
But I was intrigued. You see, there's not many people who would get unmarked ingots as a form of payment, which speaks to your inherent abilities. You may have noticed a little bit of damage in the foyer.
A little bit?
No? What are you talking about?
The large eruption we are
Oh, yeah.
suffering from.
I was going
Robbery?
to ask about that.
I thought it was impolite.
Well, your manners are noted. I would like to put a little proposition before you. I require a stalwart group of adventurers to take care of a little problem that the Bank of Rattou is so far unable to deal with on its own terms.
Before you go further, there are certain people we can't cross, but certain people we'd be happy to cross. So just, have that information on mind when you continue.
Also, there is a time limit here.
This is fine. What I say speaks in absolute confidence.
Of course.
A day or so ago, we were experiencing some issues with the vault. The security system is misbehaving.
I'm going to assume that is a literal misbehavior, as in the being that is your security system is a misbehaving?
Beings.
Good.
So we require some people to go downstairs and liquidate them.
Sounds fun.
Liquidate? Liquid.
Is he trying to make a financial pun there?
Liquefy?
I think you can pretty much gather, even though Rhylind isn't in the room, that
I need you to liquidate some assets.
Skairn's mind went a different place and assumed they were made of water. Or if they weren't, wants them to be. What manner, I suppose, would be the next question. What manner of assets? It's really hard to not do a lisp because what I do is almost a lisp. What manner of assets are we talking about?
Well, there are, of course, the traditional mechanical traps and other precautions, but there are also guardian spirits that have been very, very upset as of late. We're not quite certain why.
When did this start?
About a day ago.
Are they the sort you can ask why they're upset?
Well, we sent some people down there. They never returned.
Classic.
Probably been liquidated.
Well, the stains would imply so, yes.
So when you say guardian spirits, what? Let's not beat around the bush here. What are they?
They're spirits.
Okay. No, you don't know any more than that. They are ghosts.
I'm not a magician.
Okay, sure, but ghosts, that's what we're talking about?
Closer to race, perhaps.
Oh, okay.
So...
Sorry, spirit is a very broad term.
I feel like...
Banshees, perhaps.
Banshees.
I feel
Now
like
we're getting
we brought someone with us who might have some expertise.
No, you see, he's partially to blame, I believe.
Madrigal took a rather extensive loan out with us some years ago, and part of the deal was that he would also supply some magical services to do with some refurbishing of the vault's security systems.
Unfortunately, he's been negligent on his payments, and we've had to seize his familiar. And he walks to his desk and opens like a small cabinet on the bottom half and withdraws a cage and puts the cage on the table. And you see in this cage a small fox that's about the size of an index finger.
Matt, you just made the mistake of describing something as very, very cute.
That is the noise they make.
Is this the noise that Abella is making?
You know what? I'm going to go ahead and say yes.
It's so cute, she's almost paralyzed.
Next finger.
And Skairn looks at Hrosh and goes, no.
Actually, Skairn, you know what this is.
Yeah.
This is a finger fox from the north. They're sort of like snow fennecs almost.
Cool.
Very,
But
very.
it's a magical one.
They're very magical.
But
Roll
no,
me.
familiars are...
This familiar is actually it is an animal with magical properties.
Oh, right.
Roll me an intelligence check with advantage because you're from the north.
Look, that's not bad. History or nature or...
Nature will work. History will also work, or you can do a flat intelligence.
They're all the same. Yeah, that was the first roll was way better. 15.
Okay. Yeah. The Illic word for this creature still translates the same. It's roughly called a finger fox. Literal. Pretty
Goodness,
literal in that. What you know from stories
Oh,
is
a confernal.
this creature, it is latently magical.
Uh-huh.
They also live in small colonies in very secluded places. They mostly eat insects, but they are also very fond of basically drinking liquor. Like, you could almost keep them alive purely on, like, spirits.
I like this guy already. It's a tiny fox that
Yeah.
lives off alcohol. That's great.
Amazing.
And he goes, so, given the situation, I'm unwilling to hire any of the local people that I would otherwise consider, simply because we can't afford to have the bank's reputation fall into ill repute.
So you can't afford to let any of the local vagabonds know that the bank's vault is not 100% secure right now.
Precisely. So, here's the deal I'm willing to offer you. Since Madrigal has not been so forthcoming to me with information that would have made this entire transaction so much simpler, I'm going to cut him out of the windfall he would experience that would also incidentally allow him to clear his debts, and instead pay him with his familiar. I'm willing to give you his share.
Sure.
I think we should talk about
Well, payment.
yes.
Well,
That's what I was going to say.
I just laid out the terms. I will flip this ingot for you at the rate that we would normally do business. I'm going to cut Madrigal out of that. You will get his share, and I'll give him his damn fox.
Sounds reasonable to me. Brilliant. Then but he does look at Charlie and say, "This is all good with you?
I mean,
Don't want to go jumping the gun on this."
no, I'm just a little, well, actually, no, I'm not surprised that a bank wouldn't let somebody rest even after they died. Are you able to turn off the mechanical traps?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Will you?
Furrows his brow, looks at you and goes, of course I would.
Oh, wonderful. No, I've just dealt with many people in this town, and I just wanted to make
Or not
certain.
even just this town, actually. In our line of work, more often than not, it's like, yes, of course we can. Are you going to? Good second question. Yeah, no, good second question.
Are you going to? That will cost
Oh,
you 20% of the, like...
We'll probably just break your traps if you don't, so it's probably for the best that you do.
Yeah.
Miles looks at you all and goes, we're a bank, not criminals.
Yeah, that's the problem. We're normally used
You
to...
say
yeah,
potato.
I say murder. So...
Don't say murder. We're in a bank.
He seems to be second-guessing this entire arrangement.
So, to make you second guess the arrangement even more, we have, as I said, an associate who would be very useful. She is at our residence. Would you mind sending a carriage for her?
Of course not.
She would be very useful to have, and she can't travel easily in the city.
Is she maimed? Does she require a...
Not as shanked, actually.
Oh,
not
so
ha-
she's injured. Do you think that's why?
No, she's fine. Run in with the local thieves.
Yes, the riffraff.
Yeah.
Well,
But we're probably good to, like...
I would
this
suggest maybe somebody go with the carriage, because I don't think Rhylin's going to willingly jump in a carriage.
That's true. Nezor, you're good at explaining stuff.
Yeah.
There you go.
in song. Rhylind, we're gonna help the bank so they'll turn our gold.
I can totally
into
picture Nezor playing a ukulele.
I've got one if you want to.
Rhylind,
Hey,
it is the
Joe.
carriage problem. I promise no one's gonna shank you.
Can I though?
I wouldn't. I wouldn't fucking trust Nezor if he rocked up doing that. I'd be like, you are.
You know who the next person who's going to shank me is.
I have
they are in
already
the
dealt with
carriage.
shapeshifters. And Charlie's like, well, I'm not making deals. I'm going to go talk to
Magical.
Madrigal. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll head off. That's
All right. So,
all
yeah.
good.
Meanwhile, back at the Nine Widows, what are you doing, Rhylind?
I am cleaning under my nails with the tip of one of my daggers
Where are you?
in my bedroom.
Okay. You hear
As something strikes the window to your room.
Like a pebble?
something like that.
Oh,
I-
fuck, it's Castellan.
He's got a boombox.
Two massive record players.
No, he's got an.
Rhylind,
no.
let down your claws.
He's got an entire orchestra all in the.
A bard,
Play!
a halfling bard on each shoulder.
No, that would
We're
be
no
Bjorn.
strangers
I
to love.
think you may have the wrong kind of like impression of Castellan if you think that's what he would do.
Would be funny though. I'm going to
would
try
be.
and look out the window without being
So
seen.
I'll wait for
Angela to
Angela to stop polluting the audio.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. I'm gonna kind of try to sidle up to the window and have a peek out without, opening it, and sticking my head out, and being really obvious.
Sure.
about it. I'm
Roll-
having a subtle look out the window.
Roll a stealth check.
Yeah.
12.
Okay.
I'm moderately successful.
So you sidle up to the window and you glance out and you see two elves wearing masks. One has a crossbow levied at the window. The other one has what appears to be a couple of stones. As you glance out and pull your head back, another stone hits the window.
Right. Did they see me?
No.
Okay. So they haven't seen me. Can I wait and see what they do next?
They just keep throwing... Like, there's one or two more pebbles that hit the glass. Can you roll me a perception check?
Yeah, I feel if I failed my stealth check, I would have got a crossbow bolt to the face. Ooh, 21.
You can hear footsteps in the hallway, trying to be quiet.
I'm going to pick up my newly silvered axe and stand behind the door.
Yep.
So when it opens, I'll be concealed. So they have to walk in to actually see me.
Okay.
If they're going to try and open the door at all. Can I lock the door?
You can.
Well, I would have already locked the door. I'm in here
Yeah.
to go. Oh, I tuck the ingots into my shirt as well.
Yeah.
Because I'm all paranoid and shit. And I'm holding my axe.
Yeah.
And the gold bars are concealed on my person in a way that is not immediately obvious where they are. And I'm waiting and I'm listening very carefully.
You see the doorknob turn slightly. Mm-hmm. As though someone's testing it. Mm-hmm. And then the moment there's resistance, it very gently tilts back the way it came.
Uh-huh.
And then you hear what sounds like steel being drawn. And you see like the end of a blade pop out between the door frame and the door. Mm-hmm. And it sort of just slightly wiggles around. There is someone very, very quietly trying to unlock your door.
Does the door have a peephole?
No.
Is there a...
Don't look through the keyhole. There's a knife.
Like a more stabby glory hole?
She's got a knife in the eye.
Yes.
I wonder how if Viola is involved in this.
That's why I want to know. Yeah.
Because I reckon
There's not
she's
much I can do. What can I do?
You can do stuff in Viola's pub.
do what you were doing already. Just wait.
Oh,
'Cause
yeah.
they're still going to just...
Let them come to me.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah. He walks through as it swings across like this
Right.
and just...
Yeah. You sneak into my room, you're going to get an axe to the face.
Yep.
Yeah, so you hear a click as the lock is bypassed. The doorknob starts to slowly turn, and then the point where it hit the resistance before, it just very gently pushes past that. And then starts to swing in slowly. An elf steps forward, looking around. He crosses to the window, looks down and sort of does like a kind of gesture.
Seriously, axe to the face.
blood splatter on the window. What a great fucking warning.
Roll initiative.
No, 18, but I still
You go
go
first.
Yeah! Yay!
Okay, you're going to get a surprise round, so make an attack.
Yeah. Basically, I'm going to try and hit him in the head, but with the flat of the axe instead of the blade.
Okay, so you're going to deal non-lethal damage?
Yeah.
Cool. Roll an attack.
Mainly because I want to talk to this guy. 17 plus 7.
Yeah, that hits. Roll your damage.
8 plus 4.
Okay.
12.
Yeah, so you leave him a big bloody welt in the face.
So, Karen, something for you to think about. You do have another attack in your action, and you can do a shove special attack to knock the guy prone if you want.
Yeah.
Okay, to do that, you're going to have to do an opposed strength athletics check versus this guy's dex acrobatics. You need to beat a... never mind, that's 2. With his bonus, that's 3. I think your flat athletics bonus just outright beats him. So, yeah, this guy goes down.
Okay.
He's clutching his face.
When he is prone, you get advantage on attacks against him.
Yep.
Great.
By the way, everyone's surprised, so it's back to the top of the order, which is you.
Can I kick the door closed as a bonus action?
Yeah, you absolutely can.
All right. So I kick the door closed.
Mm-hmm.
And then I throw myself on top of him,
Okay.
pull his pants down.
Roll me a dex. Oh, actually, no. What's your AC?
18.
18? Okay. A bolt flies through the window, misses you narrowly, and slams into the ceiling.
Crossbow guy outside had a held action, and you just moved into the threatened square.
Great. So I'm going to go down and basically I'm going to use the handle of my axe and kind of put it across his throat. So I'm pinning him to the ground by his throat.
Yeah, okay, roll a grapple check. Did
Oh.
you beat 5 total?
Yes, with your athletics, yes.
Plus 7, so
Yeah.
yes.
Okay, so yeah, this elf is now grappled. And he is struggling and shouting something at you in Bashano.
Doesn't she speak Bashan?
No,
she
I
does
don't.
not.
I don't speak Bashano. I imagine she knows all the swear words.
Oh yeah, there's definitely those in this. This person is also saying like lizard bitch.
I know that one as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah,
Can I give him a good smack across the chops?
absolutely. Do you want to do that with the axe or?
How would choking him out go? Because she's pinned him down
Yeah.
by his neck.
As far as I'm aware, there's no rules for suffocation. That would be something that would have to be house ruled. The only thing that I can think of off the top of my head is the rule for suffocation when you're like submerged in water and you've got to hold on for X amount of time.
Yeah, no, I was just asking
So-
how would like knocking a person out damage
Just
work?
keep applying damage until he drops below
Yeah.
0.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to choke him out a little with my axe handle.
Yeah, great. Roll the attack.
Cool. So 16 plus 7.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that definitely hits. Roll damage.
Six.
Yeah.
6 plus 4 to 10 points damage.
Excellent.
10
Okay.
points of choke damage.
Yeah, non-lethal. Okay, they are going to try and struggle out of your grasp. They rolled a 1. He moves his hands up under the blade and he's trying to push you off him. Roll an opposed athletics.
Well, I rolled a 15 plus 7.
Oh, well, yep, he's still grappled. He's straining, gritting his teeth and wriggling under you and, yeah, just cursing you out while you do this.
He shouts something to the guys outside and they shout something in return, and you think that they're heading inside to help him out.
Can I hear anyone coming up the stairs?
No, not as of yet.
Great. Cool. I'm going to keep choking him out, see if I can get him to
Yep.
pass out and just relax a little bit.
Yeah, go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep. Yeah.
It's like, just give in to the sleepy stick.
Please be actually what she says.
8 plus 7. That was a 9 plus 4. Please tell me he's almost unconscious.
Yeah, wow.
No, he's struggling.
Bastard. How many hit points does this motherfucker have?
He's got a few.
I've only got 42.
I'm glad you surprised attack him.
Yeah, no, he's still kicking. He's definitely going blue in the face, though. I'll give you that.
Fantastic.
Okay, so it's your turn. He's going to try one last desperate gambit to get out from under your horrible, scaly visage.
Strength.
Yep.
You've been gorgeous, Scaly Visage. 3 plus 7? 10.
No, there's a last spurt of effort from this guy, and he just launches you off him and rolls out from under you, and then stands up, gasping for breath, and is just growling curses at you as he pulls another dagger out and is doing that sort of like, I want to say like the Steven Seagal and Under Siege style, like sitting there with the knife kind of ready to go. And it's your turn. You can hear footsteps in the hallway now, but down the far end. It will take about another round, but then you can assume that these others will probably be there.
Cool. Sonny's getting another blow to the head with the axe.
Yep.
Again, non-lethal.
Not.
I want one of them alive. If I can get this one down without killing him, then I can just kill the other two dudes and I'm sweet.
This isn't with advantage, my love.
Oh, yes. 'cause
No,
he's
it's not.
Please don't be a 1.
So this is non-lethal?
Oh, I jinxed myself.
It was, in fact, a 1.
You do, however, have an extra attack.
You do, but high or low, Karen?
Hi.
Okay. You bring the axe down and it... how did you actually attack him? Are you using the butt of it or the flat of it?
Double-handed, flat of the blade.
Flat of the blade? Yeah, you bring it down, but it's an odd angle and it sticks to the wall behind him. So your weapon is now lodged in the wall. Take a strength check to get out.
But I tell you what, you can use the other attack in your attack action to make the check.
Because I get 2 attacks, so...
Yeah.
Could I grab him by the face and slam his head into the wall?
You absolutely may.
You grab him by the face and slam him into the axe?
Oh! I feel like slamming him to the wall gives me a higher chance of success.
The pointy bit is facing out, so it would be a really
Depends,
good
are you trying to kill him?
I want this one unconscious because then I can just kill the other 2.
All right, I
Seems
guess.
like the tough one.
Let's go.
I haven't met the other 2 yet.
They could be.
They could have sent the new kid up to try and take me out.
This new kid is fucking hard.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I grab him by the head and I slam his head into the wall.
Okay, roll an attack.
15 plus 7 will be 22.
Cool, what's your strength?
Plus 4.
So there'd be 5 points of damage total.
Would she be using the wall as an improvised
Weapon.
Should be using the house.
She would, but
There is very few things in a room that Rhylind cannot kill a man with, including the room itself.
Tell you what, he's unconscious now regardless.
Oh, great. Basically, I grab him by the face and slam his head back into the wall. Have you watched Gone Girl?
No.
When he's angry with her at the end, he slams her head into the wall. That, but a lot harder.
So she grabs him by the forehead
Yeah.
and the back of his head into the wall.
Yeah.
Does that mean she's using his forehead as an improvised weapon?
No, the back of his skull
It's an improvised weapon.
Against his forehead.
against the wall. Make an attack against the wall with a man's head.
So he's now unconscious.
Yes, he is.
Can I retrieve my axe?
You may, but that will be in the next turn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Speaking of the next turn,
You hear one of the masked elves at the door's threshold.
I fling myself at the door and lock it again.
okay, yeah, cool. All right, roll me a post-strength check.
Actually, since you locked the door, I'll give you advantage.
Thank you. 19 plus 4.
Yeah.
23.
You hear like so it's like a constant. Yeah, basically that. But also then you hit like the door handles like.
Then you feel the weight come off the door.
I go get my axe
Yep. Okay.
and make sure Face McFace is still unconscious.
Yeah. Oh no, he's out.
He is out cold.
Yeah.
I kick his dagger away just in case.
Yep. Absolutely.
And then I'm going to say, just as a point, everyone who's come after me is now dead.
You hear Viola's voice in the hallway, and she says something in
Does it
Bashan.
involve filthy lizard bitch?
No, it does not.
Does it sound very much like a scolding?
It sounds like a disapproving nana. No, not so much scolding. Like it's more like a poor diddums. That sort of like
Boys.
yeah, boys.
I've asked you not to play my strawberry patch.
You hear 1 or 2 steps of movement. Viola says something in Bashan, a single word. And then you hear thud thud.
Did Viola just kill both of those dudes?
And then there's a pause, and I think you're like sitting there with your axe.
Yes.
Rhylind,
Yes, Viola.
we don't normally entertain guests at this hour.
Trust me, I was not entertaining them.
Could you open the door, please?
That depends. Are they still armed?
No.
Do I trust Viola enough to open this door?
Also, do
put it-
they still have arms?
Let me put it this way.
Viola's
do you trust
opening
the
this
door?
Like, Viola can get into this door. She is asking you
Yeah.
nicely.
And I mean, in character, you trust Viola.
Also,
Yeah,
these
you-
people...
no
Nobody's
reason
given
not to.
you any reason not to trust.
In
That
fact, you
is-
bonded over lemonade.
Yeah.
That is true. I open the door.
Yep. Viola is
Still
there.
wary, though, because they might still be out there.
His mental image, you're like, as you open the door, it's like wide-eyed, like scaly, like hackles up.
Like all my little
Yeah.
bits on my head.
Frills.
I imagine Rhylind more had like rattles, like a rattlesnake.
A little bit of mist coming out of the nostrils.
No, it's the little baby dinosaur in Jurassic Park that the neck frill, which it totally didn't have actually. Apparently,
That's
that dinosaur does
the
not have one.
lady from Disenchantment.
Yeah.
Anyway, I opened the door.
Yeah. So you see two masked elves slumped over. They don't appear to have any marks on them. And then you see Viola like shriveled and bent over, and she goes, "Are you okay?"
I'm fine. What did you do to them?
Don't worry about them.
Are they dead?
She nudges one with her foot and goes, "Yes."
What sort of landlady are you?
Nezor, the coach that the bank provided you pulls into the carriage yard at the rear of the Nine Widows Inn, and the first thing you notice is that Rylind's window has been smashed in, and from this angle you can actually see that there is a crossbow bolt hanging out of her ceiling.
Can I see Rhylind through the window?
Not from this angle.
Can I would.
Can easily shout to her.
Yeah, to be fair, I could easily shout to her, but that's the next thing. Is like message works if I know they're there, and it's like I can assume she's there, but I don't know she's there.
No, you don't know. It wouldn't work.
Yeah. In that case, I'd just shout out to her. I'd be like, Rhylind.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Now I know she's there.
Yeah.
So Rhylind, you hear Nezor call out from outside.
I don't know what your plans do. Viola's in front of you, and she's currently like very gently turning these elves over. Like putting them in the corner so they're not in the way of like foot traffic in the hallway.
I message out to Rhylind. I'm like, is everything all right? There's a hole in your window.
So with message, I can reply in my head. I don't have to speak aloud. I'm like, someone just tried to kill me again. I think Viola killed two of them. The other one's unconscious.
Sorry, what?
I know. Like, they were at my door trying to get in, and then I hear Viola, and she says something in Bashano, and they both fall over. That's what it sounds like. And I can't tell how she killed them. They look fine, apart from the fact they're dead.
Am I safe to come upstairs?
I think you're fine. She hasn't killed me, so I think we're fine.
Okay. I'm assuming I have like not necessarily a guard, but someone driving the carriage.
It's one of those like battle smart
Yeah.
guards.
I just tell him to wait here, point him towards the direction of the stables. It's a 10-minute drive, but whatever.
You're basically in like the courtyard, which has attached stables, but
Yeah, I'm like, it's a 10-minute, whatever. And I head upstairs.
Okay, as you climb the staircase to Rylind's room, in the corridor you can see two corpses and Viola at the doorway.
Can I like do a cursory perception / Arcana
which you do.
check over them? I want like
Both?
I want to do both.
That's
like,
time.
Okay.
Like it is literally just as I'm walking past, have a look at them and also feel out for any kind of magic. Perception, that's a 7.
Yeah.
And
They're dead.
Arcana, that is a 16.
They're very dead.
Cool.
Magically dead?
Like generally, like there's like it almost feels like there's a bit of like life lingering
Sure.
for like like there's that like they're just freshly dead.
Yeah.
These bodies feel like husks, like they have no presence of life in them.
That's scary.
I think I know where we got these spirits from.
Cool. Yeah, I just
I'll allow you to do an investigation check if you want to look.
I'm not fussed. I'm more concerned with getting into the room. Like getting into with Rhylind. So I'm not too fussed on checking the box.
Okay, sure.
Look, Rhylind only likes you as a friend.
Viola is
Glad you went there.
Viola has returned with a broom at this point, and is sort of sweeping up the glass.
I feel it's only fair you put that on my bill.
That's fine. You're my guest.
Can I look at the arrow?
Yeah, it's in the ceiling. Yeah.
Does it have any distinctive markings on it?
No,
It's just
it's
an
just a
arrow?
bolt.
My friend who's unconscious, can I tie his hands together?
Yeah,
Behind his back?
absolutely. He's, as far as I'm concerned, you've already bound him.
Oh, okay, great. Yeah, he's bound. Can I just poke him in the head? Is he going to wake up anytime soon?
Medicine check?
No, unless you want to try and revive him through some form of either healing or
Shake him very hard.
get like some smelling salts or something, maybe.
Okay.
Use your knuckles and you rub it along their collarbone. That's what nurses do to stir people out.
That's so
You just
uncomfortable.
go.
Yeah,
Like-
people go, "Blah, fuck off, ow."
Oh, that's not nice.
It's a way to sort of bring someone out because it's like a very unpleasant, sharp sort of pain. Yeah. Yeah.
Everyone just did that except Josh.
Nurses are fucked. I did do that, yeah.
It's a.
Your mum's a nurse. How do you not know this?
It's
I
like
don't
it's
imagine
one
it
of the-
comes
no
up
doubt
over a
used
dinner
it.
time conversation.
Tom, it's time for school.
It's one of those things when like stirring someone but like talking to them or whatnot,
Yeah.
you don't get a response. You can do that, and it's a pain response.
Yeah.
And if they don't respond to that,
Ooh dear.
there's a good chance that they're really, really
Dead.
in
But their brain
danger.
might be swelling inside their head and they'll die.
Oh, it could be you're so fucked that even you're not responding to physical stimuli.
Do you want him to wake up or not?
Well, I
still
want
feel
to have a quick chat.
It hangs around. Good luck with that,
Can
audience.
is there like some water in the room or something?
Yeah.
Ooh, your night bucket.
Yeah.
I'm not throwing my piss in this man's face. Standards.
I would.
Has Nezor arrived in the room yet?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey,
Definitely.
Nezor, just going to see if I can wake this chap up. And I throw a glass of water in his face.
He just sits
Hello.
there and glares at you. Nezor, you speak Bashano, yeah?
I believe so.
Hope so, otherwise you two are the most inefficient
Yeah.
interrogation team ever.
Where did I have that written?
We could
down?
message them, I suppose.
I'm
do think
going to
in
say, with my limited Bashano, I'm the lizard bitch.
I am the Lizard Queen.
I
Yes,
believe I
sweet
do. but it's not
lizardy
actually written on there. Anywhere.
Languages should be written.
Top right, middle right.
Yeah. In your working.
Common,
No, just common.
common and
Valenic.
yeah, Valenic. So this guy's just like says something in Bashan to you, and you catch lizard bitch again.
They really love that one, don't they?
Slap him and ask him to speak in Erhard.
I slap him and say, "Common, please."
Fuck you, you little lizard bitch.
God, it's
That's a
little,
good start.
It's a little repetitive, isn't it? I wrap his collarbone with my knuckles.
He does not like it.
Let's try that again. Do you know any other words apart from lizard, bitch, and you?
Skelly.
He does.
Also,
Look, he's educated.
got like metal gauntlets. So fucking suck.
I look at Viola and I'm like, I'm so sorry about the language.
She just sort of like does that thing like a nod of acknowledgement, but she's very much engrossed in her task.
Yeah, she's appearing to be engrossed in her task. Unfortunately, I have no reason to be suspicious of her yet.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm very but I don't think she's a threat to me.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Suspicious maybe is not the right word. Impressed might be more
Yeah.
of a...
Impressed and a
Cautious,
little
yeah.
cautious because she just killed 2 dudes.
So I'm going to strike like a dissonant, magical, scary tone, like right in his face.
You get real close and do like the...
Yeah.
No, ukulele!
No, not Wolf Mother.
Like when I tried to tune my ukulele last night and went the wrong way and suddenly
Oh, it's
the
fun.
dog.
That is fun. Anyway, I slap him in the face with Mage Hand.
His head, like, does that do damage? I don't
No,
think it would.
it doesn't.
He just... And he just, yeah.
It would be 10 pounds of force. So
Poke him
not
up the
even that, like-
nostril.
You caress his face with a mage hand. He is
That's
disturbed.
even more upsetting.
Yeah.
He's like, oh no, I've been slapped a bit. And oh.
He sort of displaces
Someone just touched me!
He takes the...
Probably one of
Of
your
your mage
friends who
hand
just
into water and
died.
then put it in his ear.
You see mage hand, the mage hand goes up to it and he's like, and he sort of like wriggles into place and is very, very unhappy.
Do it. Give him a wet willy.
Now, I think it's safe to say that
Guys,
I'm not going to torture you in my bedroom.
I might.
However, if you don't tell me what I want to know, I may remove you from my bedroom and then torturing you. It's up to you.
Roll me an intimidate.
Could she have help from the hand?
12 for
The
intimidate.
hand's creeping into the side of his mouth.
I wet myself on his mouth and then into his ear. Wet Willie himself.
Sticking a hand in the sort of...
Oh, God. You know what?
Grabbing his mouth, we have ways of making you talk.
You know what? I really like the idea of the hand like massaging his lips, and that does freak him out. Please roll with advantage.
6 and a fucking 7. What the fuck?
What's your intimidate total?
Intimidation is +5.
Unfortunately
So
not.
it's a 12.
Yeah. He's
upset, but not
he's
intimidated.
very upset, but he's not worried about the idea of torture at this point.
Take a finger.
What's he wearing?
He's just wearing street clothes. Really
Take
basic.
a toe,
No
they don't
longer
even
holding
bleed
a
much.
dagger?
No, the dagger has been kicked away.
It's a shame.
His hands are bound.
Use his dagger and take a toe.
Well, I mean, or you could
And
put
then
the
use it
dagger
to give a wet
into
willy.
him, and then Nezor could cast heat metal.
It is a difficult decision, betraying your countrymen and all that. But it's either, I take you out into the middle of the woods somewhere and let you go, or I tortured you to death in the basement of this hotel.
That is torture.
Cool. I cast.
He said, no, he says, that is torture.
As the hands like,
So I didn't catch that.
Yeah, I cover his mouth with the hand and cast Charm Person on him.
Okay.
So he
rolls
yeah, he rolls a wisdom save against my
Spells DC, which is
15?
15.
okay. He,
torture.
so what was it? 15.
He has to be 15. Yeah.
He does not appear to be affected by you.
What a butthead.
Viola,
She looks up from her sweeping.
do you have a basement?
What kind of inn wouldn't have a wine cellar, my dear?
Could I borrow it?
Well, as long as you clean up afterwards. And then she gives you a knowing smile.
Of course.
We do have somewhere to be.
All right. Can I lock this man in your wine cellar and get back to him later?
If you want, my dear.
You'll be compensated, of course.
She doesn't seem bothered by the idea of compensating
Great.
her.
Can I throw him over one shoulder in like a fireman's hold?
He struggles and starts beating on your back with his.
His
bound
hands are tied
fists.
behind his back.
Okay.
behind his back.
Yeah. Not an amateur, behind the back.
No, you wouldn't
What's your-
see their hands.
What's your AC?
18.
He bites you.
Oh, that's just not. I fucking.
Guess he's getting smacked into the wall again.
God, before that, you take 3 points of damage.
Motherfucker. For a bite? Come on.
Yeah.
Make
know
him eat the door frame. Oh, that biting just is not cool.
Magic can just.
Like bite the concrete. Yeah, just the hands.
Kiss the curb.
Just.
No, just well, you've got him on your shoulder. Just turn,
Oh, let's let Keren work
turn
it out.
vigorously.
Did I get that magical coin off Madrigal that I wanted?
Not yet.
The tongue.
I
Give him a tongue. Give him a tongue.
Reckon he put it in his mouth?
He's not going to have a choice.
He might want it in his mouth
He
though.
definitely will want it in his mouth. He will not want it when we remove it, though.
I throw him to the floor, and then I pick him up by the throat
Yeah.
and smack his head against the wall again.
Yeah.
Fucking 5, but a B plus athletics, so 7.
That's an attack.
But it's still +7.
Yeah.
I mean, he is restrained, so you attack at advantage. Don't forget that.
11.
That's okay. You would have hit with the previous roll.
Is he unconscious again now?
He is unconscious again.
Good. He's unconscious.
He's now bleeding profusely from his head.
And there's a lot of drool.
It's fine. Heads bleed a lot, but
Yeah.
it's fine.
Yeah.
Right. I tie up his ankles as well. So his hands are tied behind his back, his ankles are tied. And
His cankles.
his cankles are tied.
Hang him upside down.
And just for good measure, I find my stinkiest, nastiest scrap of fabric or clothing that I have and stuff it in his mouth.
That would
What
be
were
around
you
the butt.
using that scrap of fabric for?
My butt.
Do you suppose dragon ladies have periods?
That's the butt
I
rag.
don't care to know.
No, they don't. Lizards don't have periods.
If anything, I'd lay eggs. Anyway, so I stuff it in his mouth.
Is that like a chicken? How you'd lay a bunch of
And
Stop.
so, anyway, so I
Every morning.
You just shove an egg in his mouth?
I laid this myself.
Oh, it's still warm.
So what are the
I
magical
say-
properties of a Rhylind egg?
All right, everyone stop. And
What have
let,
we been eating for breakfast?
everyone stop. Keren.
Okay. So now that he has my dirty undergarments in his mouth, who knows? Maybe he likes that sort of thing. I pick him up, fling him over one shoulder, say to Nezor, I'm just going to lock this man in the wine cellar. And then you can tell me whatever it is you came back to tell me, okay?
Sure.
Is there something sticking out of the wall that I could tie him to?
There's a number of like casks that have been set up to age.
Great. I tie him to one of those just for extra precautions.
Splayed out hugging it. It'd be a really good. He
Facing
would not be
which
able to
way?
get out.
I mean, we've committed to the BDSM thing. Like.
Yeah.
Punch him in the balls as you leave.
He wakes up and then immediately goes unconscious.
He's basically hugging it with his arms and legs.
Gotcha. Yeah, and he's still bleeding and still unconscious, and you leave him in the cellar.
I pour out a glass of wine and leave it just out of reach.
No, I'm a freshman, and the wine, it is too far.
No, this self-deprecation.
And then I leave, closing the door behind me. If it has a lock, I push the lock
Yeah, yeah.
across.
I just love the mental image of Moira,
Viola
coming in and pouring a jug of wine and leaving again.
And then presumably I go back to my room to get my axe, and presumably Nezor's still there waiting for me.
Nezor, while Rylind's gone, are you wanting to do anything?
I will check out the bodies if Viola leaves.
Sure, roll me an investigation.
That's an 8 plus 2 is a 10.
That's enough. These people have, like, you kind of, like, open the shirt, look a little bit around at the body, that sort of stuff, like, pat them down, pocket, like, about 2 shillings worth of currency. And then you notice that, like, it's like advanced decay.
Oh.
The stomach on one of them, and on the other, it's actually growing on the part of his face that has been forced to the ground.
What could do that? That's weird. She's kind of like extra deaded them. That's a technical term, guys.
What did you say I got? 2
shillings. Shillings are the coppers.
You know, money's money, guys.
He's got money for the bus, all right?
Which he might need to take since he can't afford a boat.
Yeah, these guys had stuff. There's a crossbow.
Oh, there's a crossbow. Yeah, you could have a crossbow. There's also some daggers.
Yeah, but I have like
wanting
3 of
stuff.
those.
If we were wanting money, we could sell those.
That's true. I'll take the crossbow and the daggers.
Since it's halfling, it's a massive crossbow.
This is real Tyrion Lannister vibes.
Just waiting for Rhylind, who would
Yeah.
know how to use it.
Yeah, Rhylind. Nezor gets up from the body as you.
How many
walk
daggers?
into- 2.
I already have like four daggers.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah,
We don't need them.
And a razor.
yeah.
Cutthroat razor.
You look up from the bodies after you finish pilfering them and inspecting them, and
So has
see Rhylind.
Viola's left.
Viola's gone. Yeah.
Okay. Hi. Nice to see you, Nezor. How's your day going?
Well, since you last saw me, been asked to kind of rob a bank by the bank.
Not the weirdest thing I've heard today.
Yeah, so basically their security system is misbehaving, and we need to
Wait.
behave.
I'm going to stop you right there. Misbehaving.
They have security ghosts.
Right.
Who you gonna call? I mean,
How long have you been waiting?
I like that so much. You get advantage on your next roll.
Yeah, so they have security ghosts, and the security ghosts are misbehaving. So we need to sort out the security ghosts. Somewhat tied to Madrigal, but basically we'll get a lot of gold, and Madrigal will get a fox.
I'm not even going to ask. Let me get all my shit. I get all my shit.
In case you didn't see, we have a carriage. We're not walking there.
Great. I assumed that you weren't going to make me do that, since apparently even in here isn't particularly safe. Just while we're here, could you just quickly have a look at this bite mark on my back?
Oh, yeah. I'll just do a medicine check on her bite mark, just for what it's...
Did you leave any gold fillings in there or anything?
That's a 20, not natural. Just to touch her up and make sure she's not, infected.
She's not bleeding.
by-
She's not infected.
Bites are gross. Human mouth is a disgusting place.
Elven mouth's even worse.
That's racist.
But true.
We'll expedite this. You guys get into the carriage and are taken to the bank. Back at the bank, while this is all happening, what have you been up to?
I would ask Madrigal, so what involvement did you have in setting up the security in this place? What can you tell us? And you help me in this, and you get your fox back.
The tiny fox.
Your confernal.
Though Abella might steal it.
I need to write that down.
Confernal.
Confernal.
Fernal.
Like a conifer. A conifer null. Null being a sort of a hyena, actually. But
Would Abella try to steal the tiny fox?
You're fucking damn straight Abella's going to try to steal a fucking tiny fox.
No.
and he says to Abella, who having heard the noise, he says to Abella, "It will drink you out of house and home."
I'm not a big drinker. This is fine.
No, it'll drink me out of house and home, and also Rosh eats them.
Rosh is like at the confidant.
Just licking his chops.
Yeah.
So,
But also like aggressive.
yeah.
Yeah.
Sitting there wiggling his butt like
Yeah.
cats do when they see flies.
Like, I'm ready for you, man.
The finger fox is just cleaning itself at this point.
Yeah, it's not. It
I
doesn't-
bet it's fucking...
You don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Is it like a little bunny? It's just like...
Yeah. They look like it looks like a tiny fennec, basically.
Oh my god! So giant ears.
I'm already dying, Matt.
I'm imagining the fox from Star Wars. The ice foxes from...
Yeah, it's an Arctic fox. Like, it's
Yeah.
a little fennec fox.
So small.
More like a chihuahua.
It doesn't have bug eyes.
No, but fennecs are not like the ice things. They're more like chihuahua. Than yeah. So yeah, what did you have? Did you have to do with setting up the defenses of this place?
I was responsible for a number of charms on vaults, personal vaults, very similar to the stuff that I've got back in my my shop.
Good.
Unfortunately, it seems that they didn't take my advice about keeping water leakage to a minimum. It appears to have maybe damaged one or two of the runes that I set up. So the previous bank manager didn't follow procedure and was immolated. So
So this problem with liquidation is long term then.
this is a separate issue. That's
So am I likely to run into a thing that I can't enter for fear of feeling very ill?
only on the lowest level
Okay.
and only in certain vaults.
Okay.
The bank itself, as far as I can tell, has 3 levels. The first level is a counting room. Second level is private vaults, and the third level is high security vaults for the rich and the powerful.
Oh my god. It's going to be difficult down there.
I was not responsible for all of the defenses here. I just applied some of the runes. I wouldn't take anything if I were you while I was down there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Maybe don't take Abella down there.
Like, actually don't take anything?
Do you like having hands?
It's they're like your second favorite appendage.
Yes.
I wouldn't touch them.
Oh.
Charlie's sort of like doing hip side push-ups on his knuckles and he goes, did you have anything to do with not allowing people to reach their eternal resting place and keeping them entrapped down there in security systems by chance?
That was already a thing.
Oh,
That was one of the wizards from one of the colleges did that.
oh well, that's good for you at least.
What might have happened? Would what we're doing have anything to do with the mess downstairs?
Probably.
Which leads logically on to any tips for dealing with the ghosts? What they are, for
Well-
example.
Nearest I can tell is they've found items with sordid pasts and basically created a housing for them. There's an anti-ghost field, I suppose, on the entrance. So if you get into a tough spot, you could just always come back out and they won't follow you.
Handy.
So these items they're tied to, if you destroy the items, would...
I mean, maybe, but
Destroy-
it'd probably be easier just to destroy the ghosts. You wouldn't have to get through, like, other people's vaults.
What if you took the item and threw it through the ghost field? Do you reckon that would, like, separate it?
He thinks for a moment and he goes, I mean, that's a really interesting question, actually. It kind of falls into the
That's
The
real
question of,
interesting, Madrigal. But so the answer is maybe. Okay.
like I said.
Have a
this is-
ponder. I am actually fascinated in the answer for this, but entirely for intellectual purposes. So,
I just want to fight the ghost, to be honest.
Charlie laughs at the intellectual comment, like just... well, do
what, am I not allowed to be intellectual sometimes?
Miles,
I love calculating the scientific angles of harpoon.
Miles looks up from his desk and goes, "Can you please have this conversation in the foyer?"
I thought we were having this conversation in the foyer. We got outside to talk to Madrigal.
I'm just joking.
I'm in the doorway though.
Using it to do like.
If Miles is there, I would say to him, so you're okay with the ghosts being killed, yeah? Like they're a part of your security system.
Yes,
but...
we'll make do, and we'll just source them more later.
Okay, good.
Gross.
Some people pay for that sort of thing. Not my particular interest.
Hang on, some people pay to be kept as ghosts.
Yes.
Oh God.
Whatever gets you off, man. I don't.
No. It's you see, there are some people who have debts, and there.
No, and Charlie sort of walks away like.
You want him to be involved in the thing, then we need to not have this conversation.
It's purely volunteer.
He pokes his head. Don't try and justify eternal slavery to me, please. And then walks off and like does some more push-ups.
Yeah.
Yeah. So cool. And I say to Madrigal, closing the door to Miles. This guy was not cut out to be a criminal.
Like, who? We're bank managers, not criminals. Yeah, bank managers are only slave.
Oh, wait. Did you just say bank managers are not criminals?
No, he said, bankers.
They are in Australia.
Not criminals. It's like, yeah, but we're happy to be slave owners.
Well, we're going to free the slaves if it helps.
No, we're going to murder the slaves.
No, they're dead already. You can't kill a ghost. We're just going to free them.
It depends on how you see
The thing is, if you kill the ghost, do they like go to the afterlife, or do they cease to exist?
Mm-hmm.
You're not here. No, that's not helpful, Rhylind.
You take your existential
Was
crisis
there
and
was there anything
throw it
else?
out the window.
I'm not even sure what they are, but incorporeal. Just heads up, guys. Incorporeal.
Yeah, I don't know how.
Tend to be resistant to most physical damage.
Yeah,
just put it
magic
that way.
only, basically.
Well, I have a silvered battle axe and 2 daggers blessed by the Fury.
You do.
I have magical knuckles, so I'm good.
My knuckles are magical.
I have mage hand. I'm going to give him a slap.
They don't count as magic weapons, though. You are aware.
Okay, so then I don't. So then
Fuck it.
we're all useless except for the
Sticks for days.
So
I'm
yeah,
magical. Unfortunately.
yeah.
Rhylind, you are ushered into the area in which the others are all waiting, along with Nezor, and you see Madrigal sort of just sitting in the corner, like trying to be as small and like intrusive as possible.
Charlie's doing push-ups in the middle of the floor. Switching one hand, and then to the other hand, like, yes.
I assume Nezor filled you
And
in.
then no hands.
And yeah, assuming Nezor has told me
we
what's
just said
going on.
nipples?
Right. Do you guys want to know what I just did?
Have a nice cup of tea.
It did start with that. Then I cleaned my fingernails.
Was it masturbation?
No.
And
Don't want to hear about that.
my God.
I'm just
Madrigal,
fascinated. Again, this is an intellectual curiosity thing. How does one do that with claws?
Very carefully.
Charlie's just like,
Carefully.
starts push-upping
Anyway.
faster. Like,
Without his hands.
It's been a while for Charlie, hasn't it?
I'm not gonna
So
go.
I had a cup of
Queen was
tea.
a while ago. Just mental. I love the Queen!
These hands are insured.
I feel like we've done more no context material today than we have
We're getting
just
anywhere
normal
with this, are
fucking
we?
material.
Okay. So I had a cup of tea. Then I cleaned my fingernails, and then 3 men tried to kill me.
Rude.
Yes. One of them's unconscious and tied up in Viola's wine cellar.
Love it.
We can deal with him later. And I had managed to lock the other 2 outside of the room, and then Viola came along, did something, and then they were dead.
Question. What did she do?
Well, I was inside a locked room at the time.
Yeah.
I just heard her say something and bash no, and then there was a couple of thumps, and then when I opened the door, dead.
What did she say?
You know when people are dead
Yeah.
and they're still warm?
Uh-huh.
They weren't.
So what word did she say?
I don't speak Bashno. Apart from, and I totally just like, the lizard bitch. Croissant, lizard bitch.
Quite good,
would
actually.
Would she still be able to remember the word that was said?
roll an
Because I speak Bashano.
roll an intelligence check.
Also me.
I think everybody else here, other than Nezor, speaks Bashano.
Boy.
8.
You make a word it sounds something like what you heard, but it's gibberish. It doesn't mean anything.
What? Pickled cucumber?
Yeah, no, that's...
Like I said,
Never mind. No, don't worry.
I know lizard bitch and fuck you. That's about it.
Handy.
Very handy. It's usually all you need.
Look, I get by in most ports with just that. I do throw in a me there sometimes as well, but other than that...
But if you feel like asking our mysterious landlady,
I
who
will.
can apparently kill people just by saying something to them, you go ahead.
No, I
Shooting
wasn't gonna do
daggers at Abella the entire time. Just like,
Sure.
Well, I don't know how she did it.
Shall
Right, shall we do this? And Charlie will look at Abella. So, let's go then, shall we?
Yes.
Miles opens the door and Lisa goes, "You're here then?"
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's go.
very well. Come in.
Present.
Miles, this is... Mr. Goldtooth?
That is correct.
Mr. Goldtooth, this is our compatriot.
Yes.
She will be assisting us.
He has ghost slaves.
Leta,
Wait, how
Yeah.
do you kill a ghost?
We're going to find out.
hit it extra hard, I suppose.
Well, thanks, Miles.
He sort of just sits there waiting for Scan to
No,
stop.
Skairn has enough tact to not laugh at that. That's Josh's laughter.
All right.
Well, as we say in our heart, it's always worth trying to hit it harder.
Yes.
That sounds like something that's saying her.
You say potato, I say murder.
is that what Castellan said?
It's not working. You're never going to make and potatoes and murder work. It's not going to happen.
So we're all here. And then Miles goes over to his desk and reaches under it, and you hear like a click, and then the entire room begins to descend.
Hi everyone, it's Matthew here, your Dungeon Master, and it's time to tell you about the Nerds of the West. Nerds of the West are a board game enthusiast community on YouTube and Twitch where they do regular streams of funny releases, old classics, and exciting play-along-at-home style games. Just recently, Tom, our very own Nezor Valghoorlis, hosted several sessions of the game Cartographers, a board game about, drawing a map, as the name would imply, where you can play along on your desktop or laptop. It's just the kind of fun, cutting-edge gameplay that the nerds are great at executing, and it was actually quite a blast to play. Myself and Josh Walker, the harpoonily challenged half-elf Skairn, actually sat down at the studio and played a game of Cartographers with the nerds not too long ago. So if you feel like digging for the video or VOD, you should check out Nerds of the West on YouTube and Twitch. I'd also like to say a big thank you for Sirenscape for the use of their sound library. A lot of ambience in There Be Dragons is thanks to this amazing collection of sound packs. Any DM out there knows the thrill of queuing up the boss fight music or the big reveal music, and the Sirenscape app allows you to do just that. Its intuitive UI makes it simple to use, and you can even do so over the internet with remote games. Try it out now, go to sirenscape.com for more details, download the app, and get started with 20 free sound sets. Lastly, we'd like to thank everyone for supporting our podcast on Patreon and wherever else. If you've told a friend, you get a pat on the back. If you'd like to support the show, please consider signing up and helping us grow at patreon.com/therebedragons. Every dollar helps. And we've got some great Patreon content by way of thanks for your support, including ad-free versions of the podcast and our first side-along lorecast, Westfall, which goes into the details about the history of the great House and its long line of ancestors. Not gonna lie, it's been a blast to play it with Keren. We've been sitting there basically creating nothing but make-believe history, which is just the best kind of history, let's be honest. So you should definitely come check it out if you feel like supporting us. Well, that's it for this ad break. Keep it short, let's keep it sweet, and let's get back to the story. And hey, thanks for listening.
You go down about 3 stories. The columns that would have been in each corner reveal chains that lower the entire room into a slightly larger room, which has even more clerks. Like, this is where they would probably work out the investment. Miles walks you to what looks like an archway that has been barricaded. It's got a few desks up against it, and 2 of the guards that are stationed nearby start removing the pieces. So this is the vault. Once you step inside, you'll be in the antechamber. Then there'll be a flight of stairs that head down and will lead into the main complex. It's pretty simple. There's a number of different cages there holding various different kinds of bullion. Then you'll descend a further story, and find our private vaults. And then beneath that, you'll have the main reserve and, of course, the high security vaults for our most discreet customers. Pretty simple. If you can destroy the spirits or find the source of their unhappiness, that would be stellar. Otherwise, I suppose you could also destroy the anchor that is holding them there. So those we find in the private vaults. They would be in vault 3, 5, and 9. Also, if you can work out, and he looks over and points to behind you, and there's like a big piece of stone that has just jutted out of the ground. If you can find out why that happened, that would be super.
Sure.
Do you have any kind of map to the vaults?
It's pretty simple. There's no, it's not a spanning Byzantine maze. It's very simple. You just follow it all the way down.
Okay.
And could you please also turn off the traps?
Oh, of course. Yes, we'll do that. He gestures to one of his assistants, and he's got they look like the sort of things that the mayor would wear, the chain of the city. And he goes, these will protect you from the adverse effects of our standard security. Of course, whilst you are down there, we expect you to behave yourselves, so no sticky fingers, thank you. And he hands them one out to each of you.
The second he says no sticky fingers, I just kind of look at Abella and raise an eyebrow.
I've been warned.
Skairn pointedly doesn't.
Yes, well, good luck. There's the door. He gestures at it and then hurries away.
Before he runs off,
Yeah.
I'd be like, oh, so is there spike pits or falling boulders or
No.
shooting daggers or...
Nothing so gauche. No,
No, just ghost slaves.
no. You see, we are discreet. No, most of the traps are arcane in nature, and they
that's fine.
well, they don't leave a mess to clean.
What has been tried?
Well, we sent down some of our guard contingents. They didn't return. We sent someone down to have a quick look around, and they said that the antechamber was a bit of a mess.
Can I have a look at this stone before I go down?
No problem here, so certainly.
Nezor, give me a hand, would you?
Yeah. Let's do this.
I want to have as we walk away towards the stone,
Yeah.
I sort of mutter down to you, having had some interesting experiences with stones underground of late. Let's just check this one out.
Is that a week and a half ago?
No. You left a ream about a week and a half ago. You were in the swamp about 3 or 4 days ago, and then the aurora happened the day before yesterday.
Interesting. Let's have a look at this stone.
Yeah.
As you approach, you feel that familiar coldness about yourself, as though your life force is being drawn from your body.
Yeah.
So is that both of us?
No,
or-
just
Me.
him.
Because my magic comes from this. Okay, I'm gonna stop here. You carry on. You know why, I assume.
I can interpret.
Yeah. Tell me what you can infer, please.
Sure. I wanted to, first of all, just perception check on the stone. Just have a look at it, see what I can notice.
You don't need to do a perception check. It's a giant column of stone.
Sure.
It's that same.
Nothing jumps out at me about it.
No, it's that same stone that you've seen everywhere. This stone looks a little cleaner, but that's probably because it hasn't been weather damaged.
Yeah.
When you say same stone you've seen everywhere,
Well, the same stone you saw in the swamp, the same stone you saw
in a ring.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
The same stone that
So
you
it's
saw that was underneath the floor of Madrigal's.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I'll just do an Arcana check just to cover bases while
Yep.
I'm here.
Yep.
That's a 14.
This clearly has some kind of connection to magic, from what you can tell. It must either act as a conduit for or draw from.
Can I do it at range? Like, I presumably can still see it. It's just a ways away. Can
Yeah.
I have an Arcana check as well on the very sort of the rock?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. What is driving this magical effect?
Okay, roll an Arcana.
7.
It's a big rock, and it does bad magic.
Magic. I'm a long way away.
So I'll head back over to Skairn and be like, look, it's
Once I get
it's
my casting
connected for sure to the swamp and to Aureen, but
thing. Okay.
nothing special.
Is this stone like a...
An obelisk?
No. So, like, what's the style? Like, is it like a limestone, or is it... Could I break a piece off?
No, it's very solid.
Yeah, okay. I just meant
which
it in, like,
is-
could Charlie find an outcrop or something and sort of just break it off and go, put it in his bag for later?
And now I don't want to hang out with you.
What?
You could absolutely chip a piece off this if you had tools and time.
I don't care that much. That's what I meant. As in, could I take a sample? Is like it's torn through.
Yeah.
Like, would there be a bit that's there that I could take a sample of for later, or no?
No, this place has
That's
been
fine.
cleaned up a bit. So.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's cool.
Okay.
Let's
There might be
head
something
down.
downstairs.
Yeah.
Maybe Rhylind can use someone's face to break something off.
Yeah.
I am very good at breaking faces.
Okay, let's do the thing.
Do I
Right.
still have blood on my axe from this guy's head?
Yes. Unless you cleaned it off. Yeah. You step towards the vault door, and as it opens, you hear like a low moan.
This is cursed.
That is cursed.
You ain't happy without a good curse.
Yeah. It is very theatrical.
Is it meant to do that?
No.
If it's very theatrical, is there like a...
No, it's not a put-on thing. It's like just the situation strikes you as very
sure.
theatrical.
I was like, could I make an insight roll to see whether this ghost is just hamming it up?
Yeah. Ooh, on board.
Like,
The Phantom of the Earth.
Yeah.
yeah.
The bank vault.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out a way around that.
Jump up, the bank vault is here.
Inside your mind. All right, you all step downstairs.
I'll do a perception check as I walk in
Cool.
to see if that ghost is there. So that's a
I mean,
foul.
I feel like we're all perceiving pretty hard on our way in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like,
I'm certainly not going, la, 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 la.
You don't see anything. There's no...
yeah, that's fine.
There's,
Do my elf eyes see something, given that I can see in the... Is it lit?
Let me describe the room, and then you can decide what you want to know from that. So you walk into the room, and the
Skairn, what do your half-elf eyes see?
when you walk into this antechamber, which looks like basically this would be the area that they would probably bring things up to have a look at for people who've maybe got a vault here.
Sure.
The first thing you notice is that there's lots of pieces of fabric everywhere, and there are 3 stains on the floor. And it's not hard to gather that they have just basically gone splorch.
Ew.
Is there footprints?
Yeah.
Is there boots?
No, there are
The soles?
ripped boots.
Oh, good. Can I Arcana to determine what might have done that? Like, how?
I think it might be a ghost.
No.
Yeah.
But like, what's
You can
what
investigate.
effect a ghost
You,
did?
you could absolutely investigate this room if you want.
Jolly good.
Anyone can do that. Speak up.
So, yeah, like,
16 to find out what makes things explode that ghosts can do.
it's probably one of the traps, the arcane traps.
Whatever this was, it originated from inside the person that was unfortunately then exploded. It is a pretty even splorch.
Right.
So they
To
just
counter to that, why would it? Anybody down here has a permission to be here in the last day or so, otherwise there wouldn't be a mess.
Sure, but I mean, the security system's playing up.
No, the only element of the security system that's playing up is the ghosts. That's my read on the
And
situation.
all of the runes that
Madrigal
a bunch
made
of Madrigal's runes were playing up as well.
Madrigal's rune played up once and it killed
Yeah.
the bank manager.
Yeah.
But they're not. That's not.
But that's been resolved.
Yeah.
Like, they're just not happy about that.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this was a ghost thing.
Looks like.
From the only logical inference is to make, and is that.
Yeah.
Is
Okay.
anyone getting scanners right now?
Oh yeah, I'm so ready to just fucking bolt through this door. You might be.
I mean,
left
we can
behind.
get it. We can get into the field, I suppose.
Yeah, like you're at the threshold and there is like a brass, like it's sort of like a ghost Faraday cage, I guess, like a copper ring that has like runes inscribed on them.
Charlie's gonna sort of like walk through it, I guess.
Yeah, you feel a tingle and then like a momentary, like your hair stand on end for a moment and then disappears. And then, yeah, you're inside this room. And as you do, you step in, there are like crystals or like glass being held out by like tiny looking gargoyles. that illuminate and bring the room up, and it brings the whole sordid mess into view.
Can I be the first to say, ew?
Can I be the first to say, are these explodey people on the far side of the ghost gate?
Yes, they're on
Good,
the other
good.
side.
Excellent. Then I don't need to be the first to say anything. I just sort of carry on. So there are no ghosts here?
No, you see nothing.
They said vaults 3, 5, and 9. So
Let's assess
we
up
can
here
assume
first.
At least 3.
So up here this is the second level?
This will be the first level of the vault.
We haven't
So
gone down yet.
there are 2 levels below you.
Okay, sure. So from here,
Yep.
how does it look? It's just a bit of a mess?
Yeah, it looks like 3 people exploded on the floor.
Everything's secure?
Yep. Yeah,
All
there
the
doesn't.
runes and stuff
Yep.
seem to be in order?
Yep.
So there's just some popped people?
Yep.
That's not what we're here for.
Just some popped people.
Charlie sort of gives a look like, is there anything like on their person, like, I guess it would have to be investigate to maybe like link the clothes they're wearing to something similar to like, say, the guard uniform.
Oh, it's absolutely the guard uniform. So you don't even
Okay,
roll for
cool.
it because they told you they sent 3 guards down.
Sure, I just wanted to make sure it wasn't maybe people who got in who weren't
Right.
supposed to.
Yeah.
Is it possible to tell which way they were facing when they exploded?
Yeah, which way are their boots
From the
pointing?
shoes.
Like were they headed towards the entrance or away?
It looks like we're headed forward, but one is facing the other way.
Can Skairn use... Can I track? Is it the floor carpet?
No, it's stone.
Stone. Is there any tracks on the floor in any material that I might be able to track where they'd been going, or how far they'd gotten in before they exploded?
Best you can tell, they took about 10 steps into the room and then
Popped.
Yeah.
I take 9 steps into the...
No, I mean Charlie's like at the boots.
Yeah. I look at Nezor and say, chicken wing.
Charlie's already there.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Charlie's there going, no, it's fine.
So, are there
If
any
Charlie's
weapons
there.
on the floor?
No.
They wouldn't have sent them in unarmed.
But they might have.
So,
You're all certainly armed, so you don't have to worry about it.
oh no, I was just
Yeah.
wondering.
No, there's very little of anything except a stain. There is like scraps of clothes. There are these torn boots. Like there's like the occasional piece of like a shirt that's covered in blood.
Is there enough to constitute a full set of, 3 full sets of clothes?
I mean, if you spend enough time kind of like investigating the room, you could probably put together most of it. Yeah.
No, like it's not like someone has come along and then torn a few shreds and thrown them there and then removed the rest. It looks like there's
Yeah.
enough.
There is enough liquid on the floor here to imply that these were
3 bodies.
3
worth of
people.
body.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's one way to liquidate your assets.
Shall we move on then?
Let's, yes. He said something about cages of gold. Is there cages of gold?
Yes, there is actually another room that leads on. It's just a stone arch. You step through. I'm assuming you're all going ahead. And there is about 10 either side, about 20 cages that have all got locked. That is just stacked with bullion.
No.
Stop picking on Abella. Why are you? I don't. You're more likely to steal gold than her.
Yeah.
Leave her alone. Shall we do our job?
Sure.
Yeah. So, at a glance,
Charlie.
Yes.
When did you two become friends?
We've always been friends, Skairn.
so at a glance, like these cages, they've got a fairly different assortment of stuff in them. But there are gold ingots, and then there are what look like lock boxes, possibly filled with coins. There are sacks of money everywhere. And you step through the room. Can everyone please roll me a perception check?
Oh,
I might have beaten Charlie.
22.
Might have only got a 13 on the
25,
dice.
motherfucker!
14.
I
13 plus 8. Yeah, 23.
crit fail. I'm very distracted by all the sparkling.
I got a 19 on the dice.
Nice.
25.
Yeah, I only got a 21 because I only rolled 13.
22.
Yeah, this is why monks are stupid.
Can you please roll me for for not Skairn,
Hrosh.
for Hrosh?
Nope. He sucks. His perception's actually his perception is quite good.
Yeah.
But it's not. He hasn't rolled well. Advantage on perception using hearing, sight, or smell.
This would be sight.
That shit again. Yeah, 13.
Okay. Anyone here who rolled over 18? You see ghostly figures in the cages. It's very hard to see them. It's sort of almost like a heat shimmer, but it just kind of catches your eye. And these people appear to be either exchanging currency or like begging for something or are engaging in like economic behavior. It's almost like each of these pieces of gold has a story attached to them that is sort of playing out just very gently every now and then.
So it's flickers of different people.
Yeah. And they're not you see elves, you see humans, you see the occasional halfling, you see a tiefling at one point. Everything that they do, like you see a flicker of someone who appears to be like holding a bag of coins with glee. You see someone who is like handing over their last shilling and seem to be like really dejected. There is someone who has been knifed and is sort of just sitting there holding themselves, and then they sort of fall forward and disappear. But it's almost imperceptible.
Can you see that? I would even poke Rosh awake. Like you.
Prosh is unsettled.
I see a lot of gold.
I see a lot of gold.
Okay, there's also... You see it, right?
Yeah,
people?
ghosts. Just really quickly.
Yeah, it's more like not ghost, though. It's more like...
Yeah, I was about to say, like, not...
flickers.
If
These
these
aren't
were
the
the
ghosts
ghosts
we're
we...
looking for.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
You paid his reference.
That was relevant, to be
So
fair.
was this!
Droids.
I would like to try to determine whether or not that's in any way linked to the stone.
How?
The stone is inherently magical, suffused with magical energy. This would be a magical effect.
So
This is the logical train that Skairn has gone through anyway.
Well, then you've reached your conclusion.
But how would I... Could I use an Arcana check to sort of try and determine if these flicker spirits are in any way linked to the magic that I am partially made of?
All right. Roll me an Arcana check. Yeah, roll me an Arcana check.
Is it sound coming from these?
No.
11.
11. It's entirely possible that this is the case and just wasn't detected, or this could be something new. Like, you're not sure.
Sure.
Now, you failed your perception check, didn't you, Angela? Sorry.
I crit failed.
Roll me a charisma save.
Oh, good. 15.
Okay, you're fine. All right. So, yeah, you're standing in this hallway, and then they've pointed out the fact that there are... I think if you sit there and you sort of squint and look enough, you kind of then see what they're talking about, which is like, yeah, just occasionally you see these sort of almost ghostly figures flicker into existence and then disappear just as quickly. And the more you're looking at this gold, the more you're getting sort of like a unsettled feeling, sort of like a desire, I guess. I mean, you are literally surrounded by more wealth than ever you've seen in your lifetime, except maybe Rhylind.
Charlie's actually sort of tracing like where the cages are and stuff to try and see if there's any markings or like runes.
Yeah, there are definitely protective runes on this, although that's a conclusion you've drawn from the fact that you were told there were protective runes.
Yes, yeah, but like what I mean is just sort of like looking around to see if, say, like some are damaged or some seem different or some something's out of place, or if they're all working.
They all seem to be working.
As like, or they're at least all consistently the same quality.
Yeah, they're all consistently the same quality.
Yeah, because Charlie
They're
has
very
no idea
old,
how they
though.
work. Yeah, but as in like, just as long as it's not like, oh, that one's got a big scratch through it, or when the rock came through it, chipped a bit off that one. Or...
Yeah. No, this part of the vault, at least so far as you've seen, doesn't appear to be damaged at all.
Okay, sure.
Because the rock is on this level.
The rock erupted nearby.
Like, we haven't gone downstairs to find beneath the rock yet.
You're not sure if it has intercepted at all.
I'm getting a weird feeling from this gold. Might we move on?
Yeah, let's... Yeah.
I'm up for that.
All right. So you reach the end of the hallway, and it immediately turns left and right, and then you see a pair of staircases that go down and then both curve around and double back. So there's a left and a right. You can do whatever you want.
we were told... Were we not told where we were to go?
Yeah.
Just down.
You to sort of find and take care of these ghosts, or if you think that you can destroy the item they're bound to, 359 are the ones that you need to
Okay.
destroy.
Well, I mean, for starters,
But
we're
those-
staying
those-
together, so left or right?
Well, can we have there's vaults, yeah, and they're all numbered? Is that
Yes, but the ones he referred to are on the lowest level,
Yeah,
like maximum
we can go down
security.
another floor.
right?
But, so, right.
Okay, let's head down. I'm not terribly fond of this place.
No.
So, which side were you going down?
Right.
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 So yeah, you peel right. You enter into a room that has, I would almost call them prison doors lining one side. Whereas the room above you was like, say, 10 bays, this is 20.
Uh-huh.
And it is a singular corridor that leads all the way down. As before, crystal holding gargoyles ignite. And then at the end, you see a spectral figure dressed in what looks like Bashano naval officer gear. He is facing away from you, but he's at the absolute end of the corridor.
Piss off, ghost!
Piss off, goose.
So you know I can't eat ghost chips.
And from the end of the hall, you can just faintly hear the ghost singing a sea shanty to himself.
Do I recognize it?
You don't, Abella, you do. You've heard it whistled by your parents since you were a kid. It's a very old song.
Does it have any particular meaning or significance?
It was about a love lost at sea.
Are his clothes in style?
No, they're very antiquated.
Right.
You still recognize them, Abella, as absolutely being part of the Republic, but you're pretty certain that this would probably be from when the Republic was formed.
How long ago was the Republic formed again?
Several thousand years ago.
Well, there we go.
He's been here a long
About-
time then.
About 2,000 years, roughly.
Yeah.
And
Guys, it's Jesus.
Frosh has his hackles up. Does not like.
Sure he does.
I think they all do.
I'm a little creeped out.
We're gonna murder Ghost Jesus.
Because he's back to us, it makes it a bit harder to ask. Could I make like an insight check to see if there's sort of something I can, like, there's some humanity, or there's like, is this just like a beast, or
Is there sentience?
could I talk to it or reason with it or have a conversation with it, or is it like...
Best you can tell with its back to you, it is probably something you can at least talk to, but you're not sure how it would necessarily respond, also given that you have that previous knowledge that these things are apparently misbehaving.
I wonder how it would react if I sang with it. I know this song. I wonder what would happen if I sang with it.
Yes. I am curious to know the answer to that. I will be right behind that wall.
Maybe it shouldn't say non-elves.
Half elf, particularly. All old school elf.
I'm not terribly keen on the idea of keeping Abella here by herself.
No, we're going to be 10 feet away.
Ready your harpoons.
So there's gates, right?
They're like prison doors, like the paneled metal.
Okay, so there's not like, say, a
Recess.
stone recess where I could like stand. So I'm like, I could reach out and touch Abella's shoulder if I need to be.
No, the only place that you could hide would be basically in the staircase.
That would be
I'm not
like she stands at the door of the staircase and we go up the stairs a bit. It would
Okay.
be that was
Basically, I want to be able to like touch Abella's shoulder distance. So if she was at the bottom of the stairs and I'm just around the wall.
if you manage to engage it in conversation, ask it why it's angry.
Okay, yeah, let's talk conversation points real quick. So, why is it angry?
Doesn't want to stay here.
Doesn't want to stay in it.
We can totally free it. Freeing it is easy.
Ask
Has
it.
it got something to do with the aura? Good.
Just ask it if
How it's
how we can
stable is.
help. Just how we can help it.
Yes. We're here to help.
Okay.
Definitely not here to smash its things and send it to the end of it alive.
Okay,
That's
great.
what it wants.
Yeah, in which case, we can do that.
Alright, let's do this.
Okay.
Everybody back up a little bit. Take your hair down, look pretty.
Also, my hair's very short. I don't have enough of it to let.
Let him see your ankles.
Okay, shut up. Right. I step out, take a deep breath, and start singing along with the ghost, following the cadence and pace it's setting.
Great. Give me a performance check.
Don't roll a 1.
You know, I was thinking I wanted to, just for fun. That's actually not bad. 17.
Okay. Yeah, cool. The moment you join in, like, there's about 3 bars, and then it stops, sways on the spot, and turns, and you can see that it's got a bottle in its hand. And as it turns, you see sort of like a wizened, withered, and almost rotted away face. And it turns and it looks at you. Hallway goes dark, and then the light comes up, and it's in front of you. And then it looks at you and it goes, and it reaches for you.
Sorry I was away so long. How have you been?
I've been trapped here.
Do you want to leave?
Come with me.
I'm going to try singing at it again. Just...
Okay. You sing at it, and its hand caresses your face, and where it touches you, you feel as though...
Am I being liquefied?
No. It's like, you know when you've been in water too long and your fingers get pruny?
Yeah.
Your face where it caresses you starts to feel like that. Like your skin ages almost and then reforms.
Oh, no.
And he's like,
No, I don't like this. Where would you like to go? The
roll
deeps.
initiative.
Oh, fuck's sake.
20.
A 19.
15.
13.
10.
Charlie, you see this ghost reach around and then clasp Abella, and you know that its intent is not good.
Okay, so he's
Check it.
technically adjacent to me, right?
He would be adjacent to Abella.
I'm going to shove Abella and step to where she was. So that would be one of my attack actions.
Honestly, if Abella's cool with it, I don't see the need for us to do a roll. You just gotta let it happen, so it's all good.
It's a special attack, so it does no damage, but it knocks them prone.
Yeah.
So push her out of the way, essentially. So I can then take 5 feet of movement into the square she was in.
Yep.
What does that thing do?
It looks at its hand because it was holding her in a caress, and then it looks sort of through its hand. Its hand kind of goes translucent, and then it sees you.
Yep.
And it locks eyes, and you get, like, you were a sailor.
Yeah.
You've probably fished a waterlogged corpse out of the ocean once or twice. It's like the last sight of a waterlogged dead man.
Yeah.
It's just locked eyes with you, and it's got burning intent behind you that it wants you to join it.
I'm going to throw a punch at it. Basically, like, throw a jab into it at its face. So that's going to be an 18 to hit.
Yes, that will hit. Absolutely.
Yep. So damage.
Yep.
That's a 4 plus. So 10 point. No, it's 5. 11 points of damage.
So you connect with this spectre, and your fist just whops right through it, cutting it in half, leaving spectral trails behind it. But unfortunately, it doesn't seem to have done any damage.
Then I'm going to spend a key point to dodge.
Yep.
That's my bonus action. And then Charlie's going to say, "We're here to help you. Don't make this harder than it needs to be."
Abella, you are next in the order.
So I was pushed,
Yep.
but I'm going to do a roll as a, like, I guess, reaction to that. To
Yeah, you can do that. Absolutely.
do I?
Wait, do you have, like, an ability, a reaction that allows you to do it?
Oh no, I was just going to roll to not
No,
be.
then
prone.
you're prone.
Well, I'm going to stand up.
But for fluff, she does it with a roll.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. So as you go through this ghost, it's like going through a fine mist of seawater. Like, you come out of the other side, like, with sort of like a light perspiration, and it's salty.
Sorry.
Without commenting on that, cool. I'm going to draw my rapier and try to stab it.
I'm going to just ask, Was there any response when I spoke to it? Like any sort of thing on its face of like, huh, or no, or...
No, it's not listening to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
15.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's 15 plus 8.
The hits?
7.
Yeah, okay. So you stand up into a flourish and then swish it through it?
Yeah, so I do a sick roll to get to my feet. As I turn back to it,
Yeah.
draw my blade and in one motion, slice through it.
Okay, it bisects and like it's like running an object, something through like a column of smoke. It reforms, and it turns to regard you. It breaks eye contact from Charlie and looks at you.
The ghost is completely unfazed by the blade that just went through it and fixes you with a cold, wet stare.
Rhylind, it's your turn.
I'm going to leap down the stairway and hit it with my axe.
Okay, are you trying to like jump over Charlie?
Oh yeah, he's in the way.
Is this the one that's silver?
Yeah, this is silvered, so I want to see if that does anything.
If she's going to leave, Charlie is happy to sort of shift his weight so she can step on his shoulder.
You still need to do like an acrobatics check.
Okay, so I'm going to leap over Charlie. Charlie, give me a boost.
Yeah, and so Charlie will sort of drop down so that when she stands on his shoulder, he can stand up.
Charlie, shield!
My athletics is +7, so
That's
it's still 17.
fine. You absolutely make it through.
Yeah.
Cool. Roll your attack.
And yes, then double-handed axe. 14 + 7, that
Yep.
would be a 21.
That hits. Roll damage.
Double-handed?
Fuck off. 6 points of damage.
Okay, you're going to do 12 points of damage.
What?
So Rhylind, you nimbly with one foot land on Charlie's shoulder, turn that into a dive, bring the axe forward, the silver sings through the air, it cuts this ghost, and unlike the other times where it was like cleaving through smoke, this time it leaves a trailing burning edge to the injury that you can deal to this creature.
So what I'm imagining is she's run up, jumped, and she's flipping through the air and just holding the axe.
Definitely.
No, she's doing like the I am the Senate, like
Yeah.
Senator Palpatine. Well, drills through the air. Yeah.
So I'll have landed, put the axe down, and then basically I'll draw the axe up to my right side and cut like horizontally through the
Yep.
ghost.
This is cramped quarters, so, but just so you're aware, but that's fine. You're basically slashing upwards and downwards. It's fine.
Great, that's fine. I bring it back up and I hit it again.
Yep.
Nice. It is an 18, yes.
18 + 7,
That hits.
motherfuckers.
Roll damage.
5 + 4, that'll be 9 points of damage, so 18 points of damage. I like this
Yes.
whole silver does double damage business.
Yeah, great. All right. So
How does he react to...
he like where Abella cut through before, and it left like a smoky form that kind of rejoined. This point, it's almost like the cut remains. It still reseals, but it's a lot slower to do it, and it actually is gaping and like it's almost like this. It's like it's been brought out of a funk.
I don't think it liked that.
I don't think it's dead.
The ghost then just turns to mist and disappears.
Abella, you feel 2 clammy hands on either side of your shoulders. Roll an opposed grapple check.
I'm going to yell. I'm going to go duck and weave, which gives me 18.
Unfortunately, not good enough. It spins you around on the spot, like lifts you into the air and spins you around on the spot and brings you to eye level with it.
I'm fighting the whole way.
Yeah, you're struggling. So you see this happen, like
Punching.
Man, this is really creepy.
and then it reaches forward and starts to kiss you. You are so lucky. However, I think you're wriggling and like moving your mouth away from it. So it's trying to kiss you, but it's like not quite able to, not quite able to make its attack. Oh wait, no, it has advantage. Still bad.
Hell, Matt.
Nezor.
I'm absolutely looking out for the chance to like help out here.
How are you guys reacting
like-
to this?
Like, so we can still see him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's just further in the air holding.
Yeah. Like her feet are kicking. They're not far off the ground, but they are off the ground.
Yeah.
And this thing's trying to like embrace her and kiss her.
Knee to the groin! No means no!
Can definitely
Oh, look, he's
hear us
oppressing me.
from what we-
Literal shadow boxing.
Nice. I'm going to cast Dissonant Whispers on it. Softly play a discordant melody, kind of directed at it, and only at it, because it's not a field attack. It's just one creature.
Yep.
It must make a wisdom saving throw.
Cool.
And then let me know what happens.
Well, it crit failed, so
Yes.
Good.
On a failed save, it takes 3d6. I need some
What type of damage?
D6s. Psychic.
okay. Roll them bones.
That would be
very nice.
That would be 3 6s.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck yes.
And use its reaction if available to move as far as its speed allows away from me.
Which is force
Does
movement.
that mean he drops?
Yep, force movement breaks
Yeah.
grapple.
Oh, good.
That's
good.
what I was hoping.
Nice.
I was fairly sure, like, I'm making it move, so
36 points of damage.
Fucking yeah.
Bloody
for a
hell.
level 1 spell.
You don't-
That was
Nice.
perfect for this situation.
The spectre immediately drops Abella and clutches its head and wails and disappears into this mist again and reappears further down the hallway, almost like it's stumbling away drunkenly.
It's now screeching at the top of its like ghostly lungs, and it's going.
And I was dropped, yes? So I'm now. Okay, good.
Skairn, it's now your turn.
Yeah, I'm going to cast Hail of Thorns, which is a ranger spell, not a fucking sorcerer spell. And I'm going to throw a harpoon at it. Because those have been going so well so far. Let's find out.
Don't worry, Skairn. I'm sure we'll hit something eventually.
He's going to tell people to duck.
Fucking 18 on the dice,
Hell
motherfuckers.
yeah.
That'll
So
hit.
that'll be a 25. This will be a magical harpoon. So it's it's a 1 on the dice. So five magical damage from the harpoon, and then everything within the within 5 feet of the harpoon when it hits must pass a dexterity save. The DC is 14.
He does not make that save.
In which case he takes the full 5 points of. Yes, it is piercing damage, but it's a magically sourced piercing damage.
Was that like
don't know
on
if that
top
matters.
of the piercing?
On top of what I did from the harpoon.
So rangers can put spells on like their arrows or on
That's
their thrown
real cool.
weapons. So
It was an area effect, so I didn't want to do it until it was nowhere near you, but that was really handy.
That was some
Nezor.
teamwork right there.
Yeah.
So it's anything within that within a 5
Within
foot.
5 feet of it. It does. The harpoon did 5, and then it took another 5 from the.
Cool. All right. So describe how this looks, because it absolutely does damage this thing.
Skairn basically holds one of his harpoons and mutters to the tip of it, and then pulls his arm back and just gives it possibly the best throw of a harpoon you guys have ever actually seen him do.
Like
In fact, I think it is the best.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Does it like weave between all of their heads? Like they all like how does this work?
It skims across the heads of Charlie and Rhylind, who are the tallest members of the group. Fortunately, I'm above you on the stairs, and arcs neatly into him. When it hits, however, there is a hail of thorns. It's sort of this little. It sounds like breaking glass, actually. Like a broken glass sort of tinkling on everything. But yeah, it's sort of bumped.
So what are the thorns made of? What's that look like? Is it
They would
growth
be-
or
okay.
what? It's a hail of thorns, but is it like plant growth? What is it?
It would be probably have a nautical bent to it, so it would be not tentacles exactly.
anemone.
Hey?
Almost
yeah.
like
Thorns.
Like little shards from an urchin or something.
Yeah. Cool. Awesome. Yeah. You see this ghost take it in the chest, look up from it, and then like almost open its mouth to say something, and then just sort of is atomized as this thing expands from it. And you see these wisps of like spectral residue just sort of like expand away and then effectively leak through the floor and disappear.
Cool.
I assume that the urchin basically reforms into the spearhead after a time, like it sort of does.
It's more of a sort of it's a burst of them. They sort of shoot out.
Right.
But they lose their potency fairly fast, so they don't do anything.
Yeah, right. I think these things wither and die, basically become like husks of themselves straight away. And this creature, this spectre, has disappeared.
Different to the last time it disappeared. So like
Yeah, like this thing sort of just became smoke
Yeah.
and then sort of just leaked through the floor. But you're pretty certain it's not dead, but it's definitely not there anymore harassing you.
Vanished.
The last thing you hear as it disappears is
We need to destroy the thing.
Throw up in my mouth just a tiny bit.
Charlie will sort of put a hand on Abella's shoulder and like, are you okay?
Yep.
Can I check her
Been
cheek?
fondled by a ghost.
She has like residues of, like she's sticky to the touch, like salty spray is all over her.
Basically,
Why didn't
how
you
we
say
spent our
sticky,
entire
man?
life when we're on the boats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
She's
don't worry,
all
you'll get used to
sticky.
it.
Yeah, Charlie will offer you his hanky.
I will
Like,
definitely
Yeah.
take that.
It's not
Thank you.
snotted on.
I am
Yes.
being licked by a dragon.
Yeah, baby dragon licking you.
Because you're salty.
Gross. Because I'm all salty.
And he likes
I'm
you.
very sullen about
I'm just
that.
picturing a cat tongue.
So
Yeah,
this
me
Much
too.
longer. No, there were 2 staircases, wasn't there? At
Yes.
the top of the last flight, and we chose the right-hand one.
That's correct.
Is there any evidence of where the left-hand one went?
your best guess would be it runs perpendicular to this room.
Sure.
But
We don't know
obviously
what's in it. It's not
Yeah.
like we can't see a second corridor in the distance to one side.
no. This is actually this is a 5 foot wide,
Yeah.
however many feet deep room
Yep.
with the occasional globe being held and magically illuminated.
From the ceiling or the walls?
The walls, there's like these little like
Braziers?
not braziers. No, they're like little gargoyles.
What about
holding them.
braziers?
No braziers either.
What about a gargoyle holding a brazier?
The gargoyles are wearing
Licked by a
braziers.
brazier.
Glowing breasts on gargoyles.
Yeah.
I'd pay good money for light fixtures that look like gargoyles
We'll
holding
see what I
brass.
can do.
That's ominous. So, what do you want to do?
I think proceed.
Yeah, as long as Abella's okay.
As long as Abella
I'm
isn't damaged in
dripping
any
off.
way.
It's fine.
And,
Good job,
and
Prosh. Keep it up, buddy.
Prosh is cleaning her up.
Yeah.
Can I like hand
Don't
her
be
like
such a
my
drip.
handkerchief? I like to think Rhylind would have a handkerchief with her initials on it.
It's monogrammed.
If she doesn't, Charlie definitely does.
Does.
Charlie definitely does.
And we do it at the same time. She just gets one with C-R
That's so hard.
W.
Straight on her face.
And then I go, guys, you're doing it wrong, and I cast Gust, and just sort of. It's
Are
like
you
a
really
hand
doing
dryer.
this? Are you for real doing this?
No. Well, I would obviously get Prosh off first, and yes,
Yes? I need you to roll me a dex save.
she'll be fine.
Yeah, no, my dex.
It's my cantrip Gust.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm 24.
Yeah, that's all right. You feel like if you hadn't gone, oh crap, that's right, his magic is not exactly 100%, you may have been blown over. But yeah, you're like, it's like the, you know, when they see the dogs where they get like the high intensity, like, it's like that, and then you're dry.
I'm sorry, Tom.
I have no problem with this.
No, it's like, it's like the hand dryers you get, like, it's like, and possibly your hair is like a little bit more frazzled and backwards now.
You're welcome.
Thank
I
you.
put my handkerchief away.
I'm going to brush off the salt remains. Still probably
Yeah, it's all
there.
crusty now.
Yeah.
My hair definitely needs a wash.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Roll me a perception check, Abella.
That is a 13.
Yeah, that's fine. So
You say that about everything, Matt.
no, it is fine. Like you're just noticing something is all. As you're brushing this salt off of you, you notice that as it falls, it doesn't actually hit the ground. It just sort of disappears.
Ghost salt!
Salt! Would anybody like some ghost salt?
I'm all right.
Ghost salt?
Yes, actually.
I'm curious to see if I can pour it into a
Yeah,
bag or a
I was
jar.
going to say, I want some of this
I
goat
was,
salt.
this is actually, I was actually thinking about this. It might
It's
come in.
effectively like disappearing in like your hands. Like it's just like
Oh.
whatever was keeping it substantial
That's the
is
weirdest
just
feeling.
not
Can I lick it before it vanishes?
sure.
Like, while you're like this, I'd be like, I do apologize.
Did I get the feeling from Prosh that he could taste the salt?
He could taste something.
I'm going to look at the hand.
You know what? Actually, he would have
Charlie
licked
just
it.
licked.
He would have licked it like once or twice, and then done like the thing that dogs do, like nah.
It's
Like
like
you
I
usually
imagine
lick
there's like
lettuce.
a little pile of salt. So he licks the top of the salt, not your head. He doesn't go, ah.
Scan does.
So it's like it's just Abella, 2 hands out, being licked in the palm.
I'm very
so-
uncomfortable.
It doesn't have a taste. It would be like licking sand, but if sand was also dissolving as you lick it.
I mean, sand tastes like.
No, but like
I get it.
just the texture. There's no taste.
Yeah, sure. I could put this in a meal.
That's a really pointless additive.
As grit that disappears.
It would be great in a soup. Give it body.
I think it just depends on your palate, Skairn.
Yeah, I was expecting a salty flavor, and I certainly didn't. I didn't actually lick.
Anyway,
Yeah.
Moving on from licking me.
Well, are we moving
What do
on?
we wanna
Or
do? What do
is
we
there
wanna
anything
do?
to look around here?
I don't, well, we're not here to
we
rob
just
the
need to
place,
move on.
so we just need to move on.
Can we quickly have a look around for like traps?
Sure.
I feel like
mean,
the ghosts
investigation.
are the traps.
Very well.
I rolled a 3.
I should guess.
So did I! Ah, 3 buddies!
10.
Yay, we suck.
11.
We find nothing.
25.
This
Is
hall
this a perception or is it investigation?
investigation. If you're
Yeah.
trying to
Oh,
check this out.
investigation.
I was about to say, I'm like, how?
Makes it a 5
17.
for me.
Yeah, 11.
Yeah, there's no traps here. But what you do notice is that, like, you're probably walking down this hallway, like, inspecting things, making sure there's no traps ahead, rah, rah. But you notice that there's, like, and this is made of stone, it's not made of concrete, but, like, concrete cancer.
Yep.
You know, like how there's
I know,
just,
yeah.
there's just, like, this weird dappling in the stonework.
Yep. It's like if your limestone blocks eventually sort of just
Yep.
break down.
This stonework's very old.
How old is the city? Do we know how old the city is?
Well, it's the kind of city that looks like it probably rebuilds itself every 100 years.
All right.
But like, would this seem like it's aging or something else?
This building, which you noted when you came in, is distinctly older than the rest of the buildings.
Right.
Now, you're not 100% certain what would be causing this, but yeah, it is certainly something. You probably wouldn't have picked it out, but it's definitely present.
Can I like rub my finger on the stone to see
Yeah.
like whether it?
Yeah, it comes apart, it sort of like crumbles off.
So it does crumble.
What can I hear? What do my elf ears hear?
You're half elf.
The quiet of the grave.
Okay.
You hear nothing, and then you hear.
Would Rosh hear anything more than I, given that he has advantage on hearing, I think?
You can roll a perception check if you'd like.
18. Or with advantage, it's... Yeah, still 18.
You don't hear anything, but Frosh is like, he perks up, and you know when dogs are like,
Is a siren? Yep.
yeah, that when their hearing pricks up, he's like that and fixated on the hallway.
Looking down at...
Yeah, where you're heading towards.
Right. And I... What is it, boy? Susie fell down the well again? I ready. I prepare. I said, Rosh.
How do you and Rosh communicate again? Because as I understand, it's
it's get empathy. He can send me images.
Yeah.
Feelings, emotions, colors.
He sends you the image of the door that you stood before in a ream in the underground.
Yep.
That
That was a portal.
the one that led to the antechamber. Basically, the way that you got into the room with the archway.
Right.
So he sends you that image, and then he sends you the image of Clarence kneeling before the statue.
The holy statue.
Yeah.
That was a long time ago.
And he's making like a weird.
Oh no. Is it Clarence?
Is it the ghost of murdered characters past?
He better not blame me.
I was going to say, are you sure you want to take Skairn down?
This be a literal shut up, Jade Clarence.
Skairn's like something's Krosh he's sensing something and it's triggering memories for Morim of the maze. I suggest we ready ourselves.
All right. Get ready to be covered in more ghost salt.
Yeah. Do you recall the room with the? Is it the room with the ooze in it?
Yes, but he's specifically giving you the image of the door that led into there.
There were dragons on the door.
There was like
Was that-
writing on it, and it required an elemental spell, which Rhylind used her dragon breath for to open.
Okay, cool. He's remembering the door that you breathed down. I don't know what it means. But he's picking something up that I'm not.
And he's bobbing his head like back and forth, up and then sort of shrinking down, and then up again. It's almost like he's trying to gauge something.
I approach the staircase then and see how he reacts.
Oh, he's not worried or anything. He's just like,
Cautious.
yeah.
Okay. This doesn't appear to be concerning him. Just interesting that that's what he thinks is up. Can I Arcana check this hallway to see if there's any sort of magical effect going on?
Yes, you may.
I feel like you're just gonna sense the lights, but
Yeah, maybe. 8.
Yeah, the lights are definitely magical, but beyond that, you're not sure what would be causing Crosh to react this way.
Okay. So I'm
But
not getting any sensation from the staircase is the question.
No. The staircase goes straight down and then goes to another landing, though.
Okay.
And you can see from this angle, however, that there is sort of like a low mist, and it is a lot darker down there. Mm-hmm. It is not
Oh, great.
unilluminated, but it is darker.
Darker. Okay. Well, I'm happy to take the plunge.
Yeah, I've got nothing else to do, right?
It's not like
You
we can go back, but there's not much point.
might as well sort out some ghosts.
What's the worst that could happen?
Dib's not macking on the next one.
I think it's my turn, isn't it?
Charlie's still scratching at the wall. To see how deep he can get. There's
yeah,
like
alright.
healthy wood. Healthy stone.
All right. There is a point. Basically, you get to almost the depth of your hand with this finger just scratching away, and it all comes away pretty easily. And then you feel cold metal on the other side. Like if you take your finger out and have a look at it, it's like a coppery inlay that's been placed there, and you can see that like the top quarter of like what looks like some kind of rune etched into this metal.
Charlie would sort of pick some more of this.
Yeah, so if he's pulling it away, like you manage to get roughly a palm-sized hole in the wall, and you can see that there is this rune, and it's sort of fused a little bit, and you can tell that this thing is not working as intended. You don't know what it is.
Is it the rune's intact? Doesn't seem like
the
there's
rune's
something
sort of-
damaged off the rune?
Yeah, it looks like it's been sort of like fused or something. The metal that the rune is sitting on looks damaged in some way.
Okay. Yeah, I'd just sort of like pick at it.
Yeah, it just flakes off.
The rune?
The metal that the rune
Oh,
is.
the metal flakes off.
Yeah.
Well, I'll keep picking while everyone's talking about like
Yeah.
things.
So is the rune still there?
Not anymore. He's,
Okay, cool, yeah.
he's broken it.
So, it was Madrigal. We heard that Madrigal was involved in protective wards or defensive stuff.
He was involved in upgrading their security, the defensive spells and stuff. Yeah.
Because that would look to me like what Charlie's picking away at would look to me like a defensive ward.
Yeah, no, definitely, I agree. But Charlie doesn't know magic, and nobody else has seen him picking off walls.
Well,
like,
Skairn
picking
is
wards off the wall.
looking at, like he's got to the staircase, turned around and said, "We good to go?" Oh,
Charlie's like pulling the wall to bits, like, what is this? Pick,
Charlie,
pick.
that is a load-bearing structure.
I doubt it. If it was load bearing, it would have fallen years ago. Look at it.
Yeah, it's just crumbly masonry.
Then, in which case, what have you found?
There was a rune, I guess, but that fell off when I picked at it. And there was just some metal.
Have I ever encountered anything like this before?
No.
When it fell off, did it
However-
fall off in whole or?
No, like flaked.
Oh, well,
Like, you
this
know,
is
when
terrible
rusted metal.
craftsmanship.
Yeah, it's.
Could you draw it?
Possibly.
Automatic history check.
So it's like an M with a T slide through it.
Natty 20 on the history check!
Nice.
Yep.
I mean, I'll roll history,
Which
but
makes it a 22.
Why are we rolling history?
I don't know.
See if we know the rune.
Yeah, I'm just rolling history.
Oh,
to
you've
see
never
if I
seen this
recognize
rune before?
Yeah.
Cool.
So Charlie would be
Natural
like,
20? Come on.
Never seen this rune before.
would take it. He'd be like, is there like something that's not his finger that he can dip in the ink quill to sort of draw it? Because I don't want an ink stain on my
Anything you have in your pack, or possibly the some of the crumbly masonry that you've
finger.
pulled
No,
away?
then there'll be masonry in it.
I have a calligraphy set, I believe.
So do I, but I don't want to use my good quill on metal. That's just
Oh.
barbarism.
Want to use one of my arrows?
No, but he doesn't want it. He doesn't have the thing.
I don't
to
want
draw it with.
basically. I don't want ink on my finger. I do. I just don't want ink on my finger because Charlie doesn't want to have an ink.
No. So use your quill to draw it on my hand. That won't damage the quill.
Charlie will get a bit of jerky out, dip it in the ink, and start calligraphying that thing back
Well,
on,
waste of jerky.
So on the surface underneath the
back onto the metal. Yeah.
well, the metal's just like falling apart.
Oh,
as
the
you
metal's falling apart.
Yeah. It's not like the rune's fallen off. It's that the metal.
Yeah, the metal is-
The metal is
What's
just as
behind
bad
the
as
metal?
It's the same stone as before, but it actually looks a lot more solid. Like it's not giving the moment you touch it.
Okay, well, I mean, I might just put it on that metal, the stone, then I guess.
Anyone who would like to roll an Arcana check may roll an Arcana check if you are trained in casting.
16.
19.
That's enough. So you're pretty certain, both of you, now that you look at this wall, that this entire wall frontispiece has been magically created. It's a false wall that's been put on here, but you're pretty certain that whoever put this false wall on put the wall on to obscure the metal behind. So it's probably some kind of like stone shape or a spell or something along those lines, but that's that whole run of the wall.
And does it look like it's bricks of stone, or it's just...
One piece of stone. It's almost like it's been lifted from the ground.
Yeah, right. Cool. My feeling of this is that these are warding marks, and copper is a conductive metal. So it's interesting that the warding marks are failing, or have failed, and the copper is no longer doing its job, which means, hell, that's probably part of the reason this is happening.
Charlie has
It's probably going to be really insane. That penny that you got, that coin that you got,
That no one can move.
that no one can move, when you whisper
Oh,
into
yeah?
it, what was that made?
Well, I don't think I've got that yet.
No, it's still at the...
Whore.
I wanted it. I asked for it. I don't have it yet.
But the metal, the stone behind, it's
proper
like,
wall?
if this is a spell, that would be why it's degrading now that the warding has failed.
It's only a very small part of this area that's actually got like that concrete cancer effect that we mentioned before that's actually starting to fail. But yeah,
Yeah,
like,
right. Okay, I thought that's
Yeah.
what I was asking. The rest of the place that we'd come down in.
it looks pretty solid. Yeah, like the rest of it
okay,
looks
cool.
solid, but it's like the closer you go to this hallway where you're heading
Right,
down,
right.
it's starting to
Is it
degrade.
getting worse as we like? Does it
Not noticeably, but it is. It required a perception check to notice.
Sure.
But like if you maybe brushed against it and maybe some of it would come off on your cloak
Well,
or
I was going
something.
to say, when we head down, Charlie will sort of run a finger
Yeah, it's like it divots
along
and
as we
marks.
walk down, just
Yeah.
to sort of... Because, there'll hopefully be a point where I hit it, where either the consistency will change, or it'll go solid again.
It's like running a finger along like dirt at points
Yeah.
where it's just falling off.
like chalky?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, cool. Shall we proceed?
Yes.
You go down the staircase and you enter into a larger room. It's about the same size as the entry that you came into when you first stepped into the vault. It's a four-sided room, and it has a staircase on the far side that leads down and reverses direction again. So it goes back the way you came, leading to presumably the third level. And you notice that there are 8 hallways, including your own, that offshoot from this, that are presumably more vaults. There is this unnatural mist billowing up the staircase. It's only about as high as like your shin, but it is well in Nezor's case probably his waist.
Hey.
It is permeating this area. You can see figures walking through this mist and then just disappearing. Whereas before, up in the bullion room, where you sort of had to really look to see them, these are quite stark.
Yeah.
And they are more defined, but they are just different people doing different things. Some are repetitious. So you see a lot of people walking up and walking down, having arguments, discussing things.
Can we hear them?
No. Deadly silence.
Do you recognize any clothing, any people?
Some of it's quite antiquated. Some of it is very, very recent. In fact, you see someone who is wearing very contemporaneous clothing, leaning in and looking at something, and then just gets blown back and sort of leaves a wake in this mist. And also he dissolves as he gets thrown back.
Do we see, like you said, people doing like repetitious stuff? Like if I guess the only way to find out is like if we waited long enough, would we see him come back?
You're more than welcome to wait if you'd like.
Do they appear to... They don't recognize us, don't interact with us?
They're not interacting with all, they're not looking at you. They just seem to be sort of, not necessarily caught in a loop, but just, you're never quite sure if you see the same person twice, but you see a lot of the same
We don't
Yeah,
recognize
that-
anybody.
Yeah.
That was basically my question, not because I needed an answer, but because
Just
it was interesting.
There's quite a few halflings come in here, actually. That's one thing you
Yeah.
can note.
I would like to form a little experiment. Can I borrow? Do you have, Nezor, a chicken wing?
That's right.
Nezor, you do not have a chicken wing.
A what?
You do not have a chicken
Didn't think so. I didn't think we'd gotten any food anywhere.
You had that smorgasbord, but I imagine you would have eaten it by now, because that was
Yeah.
yesterday.
Like would in my belt pouch be some sort of
meat or jerky?
like rations that I have?
Yeah.
I can give you the piece of jerky that's got the ink on it.
Ah, perfect.
Inky jerky.
'Cause the only
Oh,
person
right.
who would like that is
Charlie,
Josh.
may I have that piece of inky jerky?
I mean, I was going to eat it later, but of course.
Watching this exchange, Horace is like, beg.
No, he's not begging, but he is very like his head is moving.
Okay, well, that's good to know. I'm going to take this off you for your own good. And I reach out with mage hand and take it. And I'm going to take it down into the middle of the room above the mist.
You start to do that, and then Mage Hand starts to fail. It's like blinking in and out of existence, and then the jerky just drops into the mist and is lost.
Oh, now it's
Sorry,
all
Charlie.
misty. I can't eat it with mist on it.
Grosh would actually swoop after it and sort of circle it and do the downbeats of his wings disperse the mist in any way?
It's not affecting the mist at all.
Okay.
I feel like we could walk in it then.
Yeah, well, I would. My next, I said, no, Grosh. It was covered in ink. Let Charlie have it.
Yep, so there are 2 exits to your left, 2 exits to your right. One the way you came, one further down about 40 foot to your right, and then there are obviously 2 straight ahead of you, and then the staircase that goes down.
So is there one that looks like it would be the exit from the other if we
Yeah,
got
the
left?
one to your right.
That's that one.
Yeah.
Okay, 40 feet that way.
Yes.
So the room is perhaps 40 feet wide all up?
Yes.
Right. And where is the downward, sorry?
It is on the far side opposite to you. There is a staircase that goes down to like a mid-level and then continues as one staircase down further beyond sight.
So 2...
Yeah, so think of it like a T-shape,
yeah.
but it's set. There is like a small banister that runs around. It's halfling-sized.
That's hazardous.
Yeah.
Also, I'll
trip
have you
hazard.
know that ink is from Erhart's squid. It's perfectly edible.
Oh, very good.
Should have said. It's a delicacy.
Tastes good.
Most definitely.
Does it though?
You lied to me.
No, it most definitely does. It tastes like the
Oh,
sea.
no, Erhard squid is delicious.
Yeah, but the ink though.
Yeah.
No, I don't believe you.
Use it in dumplings.
I
when
don't
make,
believe you.
Make a fish stew, and then you use the ink in the
I
dumplings.
think your vision is clouded.
I just love the fact that Charlie's giving out like recipe advice in the middle of the spooky vault.
I mean,
no,
I wouldn't
it's-
expect an elven palate to understand.
No, just because you like things that don't taste good.
Casual racist.
Speciesism. I just love the idea that like in between the two of them, like Skairn's
It's
like
the elf and the human having an argument, and the half elf is standing between going, well, no, it is delicious, but let's carry on.
Rhylind, back me up on this.
Oh, it's delicious.
Yes.
I don't believe either of you.
But no one's forcing you to eat it. Come on, let's go. And I walk into the mist.
Charlie will be sort of looking down to see
wait
if
till he walks
that jerky is still there.
Yeah.
I mean, you could look for it if you
I
want
get to the mist, and I immediately start to go, it burn! Kidding. Unless it actually does burn, in which case I don't say.
It doesn't burn.
Does
However,
it interact?
I say, and then I slowly sink down into it.
Get the jerky while you're down there.
And then I come up with the jerky.
actually, while you're down there, you're getting it's.
Does it taste salty?
Oh, you ate my jerky, you
No, not the jerky, the mist.
No. Oh damn.
Come up with the jerky in my mouth. Like, actually, I take it back. The ink squid is, yuck.
So this is a very familiar sensation. Actually, it's not too dissimilar to the sort of sensation that you got when you approached that column of stone upstairs. You are starting to feel that familiar, like standing outside of your body, almost sort of feeling like your life force is being drawn out. But it is not anywhere near as bad as what you had previously felt. You feel it, and it feels like it's basically everything submerged by the mist, and a little bit above that is sort of what you're getting the
I definitely
sensation
do the
from.
thing.
Yeah, oh sure, but you're like,
I come back up and I go, I take that back. Sorry. I'm kidding, but also, wow, that hurt. That sucked.
yeah.
You're feeling the
jerky.
life draining from your balls.
It wasn't worth the mild amusement I derived from that was not worth.
It is uncomfortable, but not untenable. Has
So
anyone-
I relay this information. Sort of, you know how I get funny around those the magical monolith thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's this same sensation, but not as bad from the mist.
Charlie
Does
will
it- does
split
it-
the jerky in half and give some to Abella.
so what you've walked into the mist as well?
I
gave
toss
you
it
the
back to him.
Okay, sure.
I'll step into the mist.
Thank you. Can I take the
So yeah, it is an uncomfortable feeling stepping into this. You feel like the life is leaching out of your legs.
I step back out of the mist.
Oh,
And does it abate?
Yes, but it takes a bit. It's like
Is
going
it as
into a
bad for me?
fridge.
Like, is she feeling it worse than I did?
No way to tell, but you would assume that's probably for her first experience
Yeah.
of that.
It's like, ooh, did you get it too?
Yeah, that's not nice. I didn't like that.
Oh, I know. It could get much worse. It's been far worse.
Can I just dip one foot in and just kind of assess how fast I think this draining is happening?
Yeah. So you do that, and the effect is instantaneous, but it sits at a sort of like unpleasant level. It's like putting your hand on bare ice, I guess, and just sort of letting it sit there. Like it is only so cold, but it is also only so unpleasant.
Okay. I'm like, well, if we're going to do this... well, if we're going to do...
This is only... I've reached the pinnacle of unpleasantness. Thank God.
I think on my pain scale, that's like I'm actively being mauled by a bear.
I've clearly missed the joke here.
Bare eyes.
Right.
You put your hands on bare eyes, and the bear immediately.
She was like quietly giggling, and I'm like, "Did you what?" And then she tried to explain it to me.
Ice. Yeah. Not bare eyes. Yeah. Guess who?
Guess who? Oh, God!
He put his hands on my eyes again. Boo boo.
All right. Pull it back, guys.
Okay. I pull my foot out and say, well, if we're going to walk through this, I propose we walk through swiftly and with purpose.
I am all for that.
And none of you move.
Yeah, I was like, "Who's
I
taking
walk
the
back
first
out.
step?"
Oh, me and
stand on
Abella.
the staircase with them while we decide which of the staircases to go down, presumably the far one.
Well, there's only one staircase. The rest are hallways.
Oh, okay.
Me and Abella are currently like, I'm like, trying to like eat the jerky. Eat it
How long do you take?
until she eats the jerky.
10 minutes.
There you
no,
go.
I'm kidding, not 10 minutes.
Eat the damn jerky.
Well, because
Fine.
if it's more than like 15 seconds, Crush is going to die for one of you.
Yeah, no, Charlie would be like, eat it. Do it.
And Crush
dubiously.
Crush would fly over to your shoulder, sort of swoop over, and then perch on your shoulder, and his head is doing the bird thing.
Charlie's is also doing the bird thing. Like, don't you dare. That's a delicacy.
Oh my God, fine. I break it in half and I give him the half without the squid ink, and then I eat the squid ink. Matt, how does it taste?
Tastes like you just put ink in your mouth.
Gross.
Charlie's eating it perfectly fine.
And scared chuckles.
I imagine it would be like, someone for the first time eating like caviar. Like,
I loved
Gross.
caviar the first time.
Well, I don't know. I've never had
Something
caviar. I'm
that's
not a
an
fancy
acquired taste.
Yeah.
Something that is an acquired taste. Yeah, you might as well just
Oh my
uncorked
God,
a bottle
I
of ink
had
and chugged
caviar for the
it.
first time when I was 8.
Yeah.
Am I posh, Karen? Is that
Yes, you definitely
Yes, you
are.
fucking are.
So yeah, you step into this mist, and yeah, it is unpleasant to say the least. You feel the life drain. Like it's like, muscle fatigue.
Yep.
Well, Charlie would know muscle fatigue, but it's like that for you. Like thoroughly unpleasant.
Oh, yes,
and
but,
it's heading up to your knees at this point.
Is it getting deeper?
No. Like for Charlie, like the muscle fatigue, the ache, the feel. Like remember how I said like below the fog,
Yeah.
it felt, or the mist, it felt bad, and then it was sort of creeping up a little bit. It's the same sensation. Like it's heading towards your knees.
Sure. Well, Charlie will...
Shall we just keep on going?
Yeah, Charlie will move, but sort of when his knees and legs would like fill with acid and shit, it was just basically keep high step.
Well, if we're heading down, we should just keep heading.
Oh, actually,
Down.
Charlie will go, nuts, and pick up Nezor.
I
Like,
was going to suggest
offer Nezor a ride.
I mean, if you're all feeling a bit strange, well, might as well, right?
Don't like Charlie will have Nezor on his shoulder again.
It's got a master blaster thing going on.
I
Here.
do try the gust again. I say directly in front of me with nobody in front of me.
Okay. In this instance, it
Fucking thing.
blasts forward at the same intensity that
Smaller creatures are pushed 5 foot, but medium or smaller creatures are pushed 5 foot back.
there is this like howling gale that you extend forth magically. And then it's almost like it all just gets drawn into the mist, and you can actually start to feel like you're, again, that sort of sensation you're feeling around your legs being pulled from your hand.
But the mist does not.
The spell ends. It doesn't, like, the moment it stops, that feeling dissipates, eggs and leaves. But yeah, that spell, it initially works and then just gets sucked in.
And the mist is not affected at all, doesn't it? I was like, okay, look, wow, that's interesting. Keep Nezor out of it, being a very magical one. And let's just proceed rapidly.
Did that have a range on the
30 feet.
30 feet. It only goes about 15. So yeah, you make your way to the staircase. Again, it's like dry ice, how it billows over an edge, except it's sort of in reverse, coming from beneath.
Yep.
But it doesn't go any higher. Like you're not, as you walk down this staircase, the mist stays pretty consistent height to the surface. So you're not like going into the mist.
So I've seen Skairn do that, and I'm just kind of like thinking and almost, almost an Arcana check, but not actually doing an Arcana check.
If you want any information, you may have to do an Arcana check.
Well,
Or you can just talk about it and we'll see what.
Well, I was going to try. Can I prestidigitate a like musical notes at ground level? Or would they?
Prestidigitation allows you to create sound. Okay, yeah, you can.
So can I do that and see what happens?
Like, I assume it's a guitar sound.
Yeah.
It's like the guitar string breaks halfway through the note.
Okay,
and
so it sounds like the guitar string breaks, or it just
no, like as in like you do the note and then.
Okay, so it's cut short.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's just an anti-magic defense.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Reduces
thinking.
the efficiency of mages, which means if mages come in to break into the vault, they're going to be less effective.
Well, I'll do an Arcana check just because it's interesting to see what I might know. That is 21. Not natural, but 21.
21? You are actually drawn to the pendant around your neck that was given to you by the bank manager that allowed you access to the vault. You're actually pretty certain that this pendant is what's allowing you to even cast.
Okay.
You're not 100% certain if the mist is the thing that's responsible, though it seems to certainly be absorbing the magic.
It's at least related to whatever would stop people.
But as opposed to you not being able to cast at all, you're pretty certain that those pendants are allowing you to at least have some effect.
We're all wearing one, are we?
Yes, you will get issued one.
Does
Except Frosh, but...
Does he relay that?
Well, it's up to him.
I was then going to, cast Mage Hand and see what happened when I cast Mage Hand.
It would be much the same effect. The moment it kind of exits your immediate vicinity, it just sort of dissipates and gets sucked into the mist.
So roughly that same 15 foot. Okay. So guys, having anti-magic stuff here would make sense. I don't think the mist is necessarily anti-magic, but I think it's helping. What I think is more important is these pendants seem to be counteracting that and letting us cast magic.
Good.
So don't lose those. Don't let any ghosts take those.
Do you think the pendants are also limiting the effect of the life force sucking energy thing?
Well, I don't know if that's directly related or not because I haven't felt it. Thanks to my man here. But
silence, man horse.
Every time you hear that noise, just imagine someone flexing.
Yeah, so I would imagine it's probably related. And if we didn't have those, it could be much worse.
I tuck mine into my jacket.
Yeah, let's not lose them.
Okay, so you go down this staircase and it's a smaller room at the base of this staircase, and ahead of you is an archway that leads through a small hallway about 20 feet and then opens up into a large circular room directly below, roughly where you would have been walking. So this whole vault has sort of been weaving back and forth on itself. And you can see there's actually an octagonal depression in the middle of this room. And there are pillars. As you walk in, there are these copper pillars, sort of they're very ornate looking. They're almost like tree branches or twisted metal, 24 of them ringed around this central area. Sort of like a viewing gallery, I guess, but there is actually, there's about 10 foot of movement, and then these things that ring around this area, and then another 10 foot of movement, and then this depression, which is about 30 foot wide. And there is actually a dual spiral staircase that goes down out of sight.
Within the depression?
Yeah, within the depression. There are doors on the outside of this circular room. They're vaults. They're definitely high security, but they're not necessarily as important as the things that are possibly in this depression. The other thing that you note is that entering in this room is like walking into a Faraday cage. There are these metal strips just crisscrossing the walls and the floor everywhere. But this isn't the only thing that catches your eye. The rear half of this wall appears to have this lodestone stuff that you've seen before just erupting right through it at a weird angle. And you can see at points where it's hit this coppery material and actually sheared off, almost like running cheese through a cheese grater. In some places, the metal is broken. It's like there has been a violent geological eruption and it's just kind of fucked up the room a bit. All of you, I can actually see magic sort of arcing back and forth between this stone and the copper, I guess, Faraday cage-esque strips. And you can also see that there are far more ghosts lined around this area, and they're it's almost like looking at translucent people at this point. Not so much. It's very similar to the ghost that you saw in the hallway.
We figured out a timeline for when this happened, didn't we?
Yes.
And it didn't necessarily interact with what we did in Orim.
It was around the same time that the Aurora raced across the sky.
Right. That's right.
Nezor, this is a deja vu effect for you. You've been here before. It takes you a moment, and then you're immediately taken back to that dream that you had.
the lake. The lake wasn't octagonal, though.
No, but if you could like almost interpose the two things over each other, these
Like shape.
these shapes suddenly become trees. This central depression suddenly becomes like the lake.
whatever the thing was. Yeah.
Yeah.
With the okay.
And it's that moment that sort of just triggers for you.
That was the night of the Aurora, wasn't it?
Nezor, you have a moment where your vision seems to splinter and reform, showing the true reality of this place. And unbeknownst to the others, you can see floating about 2 feet above the lip of this depression a black-winged angel, serenely standing, waiting. She clasps a scythe and a black iron lantern. Thank you for listening to this episode of There Be Dragons. I am your Dungeon Master Matthew, and Abella DeRosier was played by Angela Leta Kaye. Charlie Roughhouse was played by Tristan Doust. Nezor Valghoorlis is played by Tom Moore, who also acts as our sound recordist. Rhylind Westfall is played by Keren Schlink, and Skairn Fellspar is played by Joshua Walker. If you're interested in supporting the podcast, please consider checking out our Patreon at patreon.com/therebedragons for additional material and content. You can also check out our website at therebedragonscast.com. There Be Dragons is produced and edited by Matthew Buss. There Be Dragons' original score is composed by Sean Tanian. You can find more of his work at seantanianmusic.com. There Be Dragons art is produced by Brianna Manning. That's it for this episode. Thanks for listening.